gonna be here.
Yeah.
He was here. If you were here, you had more control. Here, his wrist took everything. Yeah. You like this? Hotep and Grift.
Alright, so welcome back to Sunny's Corner, everybody. How you doing, sis? Welcome to the show.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming through. If it seems like, oh, well, she's not even giving these people intros. No, I don't give them intros. I let them speak for them damn selves.
I thought my plight in life was about saving the world until I realized I didn't have the skills or the tools to save myself.
Yep. If you're not activating now, then what are you doing? Wasting my time, wasting your time. So let's go. Until next week.
Welcome. Her name is Kim Clayson. Clap it up for Kim Clayson. Love it. Kim Clayson, ladies and gentlemen. There she is.
It does look good. We are going to be flipping seats. Like I said, a lot of the states did go through redistricting. Maryland was one of them, Florida, New Jersey. So we'll be flipping a lot of seats in really good areas.
Sonny Johnson.
Oh, is it on? Like, it ain't like I'm not loud enough. I can't hear it. You know, I can be loud without you saying. And that, you know, before that, I was always like, I'm Hotep adjacent. You know, I would always say that. But when you got to that point, when I was like, okay, now it's Hotep.
What point did you get to?
Hotep the bill. The point where when you hit the realization that it's not about necessarily winning the argument or fighting with the left or fighting with, you know what I'm saying? No, it's not about that. Now, I'm going to create the platform where you can find the content.
These last 5 years of my life have been absolutely amazing, and Chad has been a mentor, helped shape my brain. So if they call me a radical, I've been radicalized by Chad. We can blame him. He's the one that turned me into an anarchist.
Who's the bigger black supremacy? Talking about you guys.
The person who made sure we were government compliant and made us a non-profit organization officially. Shout out to Trish. Did an amazing job helping me out. I really appreciate her. Shout out to Crypto Wendy for coming out. Thank you, Crypto Wendy. Wendy, shout out to Syscoin, our sponsor. You know, shout out to Brody McFall.
Secret Service. My handler. Take a picture of that girl. You think you're label of reparations. Huh? Arrogant like a mother.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How I'm supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
Two, one, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this is a real Hotep brother.
What's up, people? Welcome back to the Grift Report. I am your host, the Grift God, Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
And today we have a very special guest for you, King Randall.
What's up?
King Randall. What up, man? How are you?
Man, I'm doing excellent. School started back. Kids are good. All is well, man. Just chilling.
So, yeah, what's the update on some of the damage that was done? I understand it wasn't the main building. It was another building. Or what's the update on the damage done by those Antifa types?
Yeah, so it was the main building that they messed up, but the city had already put us out of that building back in like October. After a storm came through. So when we locked the building down, I would just come check on it, periodically to make sure everything was okay. And I got the power cut from there and stuff because the bills were, obviously too high anyway. But we also had this office building that we were in anyway. We had our office building, which is comprised of this building that I'm in right now. We have a garage next door where we teach them how to work on cars. And we have another building behind me. We have 3 small buildings that we utilize for our resource center. So we've kind of turned the resource center into school now because we weren't able to use that big building. So right now we did clean up everything over there. We had a volunteer weekend. So many people came out. If any of you are watching that were there, thank you for coming to help us, me and my students. We cleaned up everything. And we locked the building down real good, got everything boarded up and stuff. But now we've been renovating our office building. So we just got a couple of those offices, the walls knocked down to make big classrooms. And we've got the building painted. And I'll be posting some of those pictures later. I just posted one picture maybe about 30 minutes ago. But I'll be posting some videos and footage of like the actual renovations that have been happening on the inside of this building too. So you can always see where your money's going, because I love showing that. I love showing people where their money's going anytime they give me money. So, and we love that.
Yeah, transparency, absolutely. I want to go ahead and bring up this article here in regards to LeBron James and his school and their math issues. So let me see if I can find the article I had up here the other day. Let's see, news. And I'll share it on the screen with everybody too. Hold on. I see my results have moved around, so I'm glad I saved my links here. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Okay, let's try that one. Okay, let's try that. Okay, here we go. Found it. All right, so I'm going to bring this up on the screen. And I'll send you a link so you can follow along. Hold on. Let me DM that to you. And
I'm comments right here on the screen on my phone too.
Okay, cool. Let's see, King Randall. Okay, there you are. All right, so that's the article we're looking at here.
Okay, I see you right here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the way this news goes, first of all, this is partially a public school. So there is state funding involved here. So first thing I'd like to say is not all on LeBron's shoulders. Okay.
Not at all.
It's definitely not on LeBron's shoulders. There's a lot of factors that go into, what caused these poor test scores. One of them here says sixth grade showed a 0% proficiency in math. When you saw this story, what came to mind? What did you think was happening here, or what were like some of your initial thoughts in regards to this story? Because I'm sure you saw it.
Yeah, well, of course, it is a public school. So let me start by saying that it is a public school. LeBron James, help fund it and do some other things, on the outside of the school for the students or whatever like that, as far as housing and helping them get into college and things like that. But I was disappointed because I'm a fan of LeBron. Maybe not necessarily his politics, but just him as a guy in general. I think he's a pretty cool dude. But aside from that, man, I was kind of disappointed at the school because I'm thinking like, okay, well, he's giving extra funding on his own and, providing college, et cetera. Then I see an article and it's like 3 years and nobody's passing tests, what's happening, and then of course his name is still on it regardless, and he has to think about that too, because that's a PR nightmare for you too. Like, hey, what's happening at this school and why isn't the school getting the results that I would think that it should get? Because it looks awesome. It looks amazing. I've seen the inside of it and I've looked at pictures and videos. I mean, it looks amazing. The kids look great, but to be underperforming by that much is crazy. But again, it is a public school, and it goes to show you, no matter whose name is on it, it's still a public school. If you go type in I Promise School on Wikipedia or whatever, it's going to say a part of Akron Public Schools. So it is a public school that LeBron James, helped out with. It's kind of just like naming the school Barack Obama Elementary School. Doesn't necessarily mean that Barack Obama has his hand all the way in it or whatever like that. It's just, the I Promise School, and that's one of LeBron James's monikers, and of course that's his hometown. But yeah, I was definitely disappointed to see that, and hopefully even he steps in or even says something and just says he's disappointed or something like that. I would hope as a man, to just come out and say, hey, I'm disappointed in whatever's happening here, the teachers, whatever, school, what can we do to make this better? That's what I would do, to jump out in front of it, especially if I've been funding it and my name is on it. So that's what I would do. But I'm definitely disappointed at those results. I would have thought it would have been way better than that.
Yeah. And he's not been involved that long where he can, start to see some drastic changes in the school. But,
right.
And I'd love to know how your school is structured in comparison, because you're not attached to the public school system, right?
No, not at all.
So you're 100% community funded.
Correct. We're 100% community funded. We are a free boarding school. So even with us having community funding, we don't charge tuition for our students at all, or for our after school program. So when people follow me on social media, they usually see me fundraising a lot. It's because the students that we really wish to come to this school cannot afford to come to this school seriously when it comes down to how much it costs to take care of them. But we board them also. They actually live with us. So that means paying for haircuts, food. And these are growing little middle school boys. So they eating. They extracurricular, swimming, baseball, basketball, their textbooks, their laptops, their uniforms, shoes. They're growing every year. Their suits that we buy for them, light bills, insurance, the whole nine, gas. It's a lot. But people, love what we do, and we've been able to thrive, with our school from that. So we're not a part of the public school system. We just had our full first year. So this coming year, people will get to see results from how our school is actually doing. Because of course, after the first year, you don't have any comparisons. You have to have comparisons, obviously, the second year. So once we're finished with our second year, we'll have full comparisons of how the kids came to us and how they're doing right now. But our students are doing well from the testimonials their parents are giving about just their hygiene and different routines we give them during the day, exercising. All of our obese students, they've lost all that weight, all that stuff. It's been phenomenal just watching the changes in our students. But that's what we're able to do. I'm able to teach what I want. We're able to go where we want to go. I don't have to ask anybody permission. I'm able to carry firearms on our campus. We're able to do whatever we want to with our school. Because we're not tied to anybody and we're completely community funded. They said it wasn't possible, and here we are making it happen.
Ain't that the truth? So do you have to abide by any state tests, or do you have to take the state tests? Is that voluntary? How does that work?
Yeah, so in order for our kids to still be in the right grade, they have to be in an accredited school. So we utilize Georgia Cyber Academy. This is an online homeschooling platform that they go to school on, as far as their actual subjects like math, reading, language arts, whatever. They get on there for maybe about 5 hours a day or so. It's at split times. They get on there about 5 hours a day, and they do their work there. We have in-person tutors for them, and that way they are in an accredited school. So that way we didn't have to jump through those hoops of trying to get our actual building and our actual name accredited, because that would take forever. So we just utilize an online platform that already has everything put together that we need, and then we do what we do on the back end with boarding, etc. So it's almost like a loophole that anybody could do who wants to start their own school.
Okay. So do you guys have to take state tests?
Yes, they have to take the Georgia Milestones test at the end of the year to go to the next grade.
How's that looking?
All of my students passed their Georgia Milestones. A lot of our students in our public school system did not, but we had 100% pass rate for our students. I would like for their scores to be way higher. They passed, which is great. But like I told them, this coming year, y'all been here for a year now, and it's time next year we got to show these scores and then show better scores next year. So they all passed their Georgia Milestones, which I'm proud of, but I want them to almost super pass it. I want them to go way, way high with it. So that's what we're looking for.
No, that's dope. My issue is with the LeBron James situation is when the public school's involved or the government's involved. For example, when I was looking at how my kids were learning math, I'm like, what is this stuff? I didn't learn math like this. I learned you got to memorize your addition. You got to memorize your multiplication, and everything branches from there. It wasn't like, some magic hocus pocus. And it seems like the way they're learning math now, they're actually not learning math. They're learning like some weird system or something like that, which is just
I don't
really
know what's going on, bro. It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah. So when it comes to these children's math proficiency, I question, how is math being taught? Because math isn't something that you're bad at. Now, for some people, they might excel and it might come easy to them, but it's not something where people can be bad at it. It's just a practice thing, right?
Yep.
Do you find
it's a practice thing. Yeah, it's a practice thing. It's not that you're bad at it. You're not good at it, or you're not learning it as fast as everybody else, or whatever. But it's not that you're bad at it. You just have to. It's repetition and consistency with everything else. But I definitely have to get professional actual tutors for them, because I can't. Some of that math, I'm just like, look, man, I don't remember that. I don't remember seeing that. So you got to get pay attention to your tutors and stuff like that, because I be lost. I'm like, nah, bro. Yeah, that's what I got tutors for. It was like, that ain't me. I can teach you how to fix on a car and all that, but me and this, whatever this triangles and this upside down and that parenthesis, I have no clue. So that's what we're looking at with math now. But I don't understand, and I wish somebody from education would actually give an explanation, why is math like this? Honestly, is it to develop the kid? Is it to help them out with anything? Because I've never used any of that math ever. I'm totally honest. I'm being so for. I know people say this, but I legit have not used anything more than 8th grade, 7th grade math. I've never used anything that I learned in high school. You barely use anything you learned in 8th grade. All that math is just inconsequential if you're not trying to be a scientist or a mathematician or what have you. But I don't see the point in it. It makes no sense to me. I don't even use that math on a regular basis. You just use basic stuff every day, knowing how to count, math, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I think that's all you need to know. I honestly think you don't really need more than the 8th grade education to be successful. I think after 8th grade, you need to be gearing toward whatever career you're going toward. Because after 8th grade, high school is, who remembers what they learned in high school? Nobody. So you're just there having fun. You remember memories with your friends, but you don't remember anything from class. You don't remember how to write this or that. You don't remember any math. You don't remember any science. You were just there to remember what you need to remember for that semester and get your grades and graduate. That was it. But after 8th grade, I think school is inconsequential. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I would concur, unless you're an engineer, right? Like that's your specialty, right. And you have to go on to more advanced math. But when we look at some of the millionaires that were made in the past, some of these guys, you know, had 5th grade education levels and turned out to be some of the most successful people to control the world.
Let me tell you something, bro. Every rich person that I have met in this life right now, and as I've been growing, every last rich person, I kid you not, every last one of them, I've been waiting for one. All of them have this crazy story about how they became rich. Like, I'm talking about from eating roadkill off the side of the road with their parents growing up. Like, I'm talking about the craziest stories to being these super uber rich guys. I have still yet to find one of those rich people that was just born rich and they had it all and their parents had them a silver spoon. They took over the family business. Because that's the normal story that people tell you. Oh, they only rich because they were. Every rich person, I'm talking about every last one. Most of them didn't go to college. Almost every rich person I have met, I have been waiting on one that was just born rich or already had it. Every last one of them have had a super trying story. Every last one of them, from white, black, Indian, all of them that I've met have had a crazy trying story. From having to grow up, you know, eating this or that and not having such and such or what have you, to working hard and really wanting it out of life and being successful, coming up with ideas, coming up with something different, doing something different, and working years and years and years till you finally make it happen. And then people who grew up in the same or even less worse conditions say they can't make it. And that's why sometimes I'm like, how can a former slave have a better vocabulary than me? Because I wasn't going through any of that stuff. Anytime I think about civil rights or whatever like that, I'm like, these people was going through actual hell. You mean to tell me I can get up in the morning and not have to worry about KKK coming to get my kids or whatever like that? You telling me I can't do something nowadays? You crazy. You can't tell me I can't do nothing. Because my grandparents went through craziness. My great-great-grandparents went through craziness. Ancestors went through absolute crap. And they were still smiling every day and actually being successful. We can't do it now and we not going through nothing for real? Nah, I disagree with that.
Yeah, I think the potential's there.
It is.
I don't know if the potential's there for everyone. There are some people in very destitute conditions, right? So, for example, I always bring this scenario up because I know somebody like this. I have a family member who grew up and basically their father was a drug addict and alcoholic, and their mother was the same and participated in prostitution. So when I look at those kind of conditions, you know, from baby, because, you know, a lot of stuff, you know, is determined by the first 5 years of your life, how the brain begins to form. If this is what you're learning at such an early age, it's hard for me not to say the odds are against them, right? I think, I think the main issue is bringing those people who have destitute conditions into close proximity with the information and the inspiration, you know?
Absolutely. They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Instead of, like, for example, I was talking to some crypto bros in a private chat, and while we were broadcasting, he mentioned something about, you know, how come, you know, black people can't get it together? And I'm like, well, a lot of this stuff has to do with proximity, right? So if you want to make it in this world, sometimes that proximity means being close to a city. And Sky Adams talks about this. He's like, you might have to move to New York City, LA, Miami, you know, Austin, Texas. You might have to move just to be closer to, you know, these hubs. And I think the same thing happens with information, because people say, okay, they have access to the internet. And I'm like, well, what corner of the internet are they in? Because you could get trapped in a bubble. And we see this with politics today, where people are insulated by their network.
Yep.
And when I say insulated, I mean opinions aren't even allowed to penetrate, because the network that creates the insulation around this individual actually blocks those other opinions.
Yep, the algorithm is made like that. It's literally made for you to be in an echo chamber. Like, it's made to show you over and over again the type of stuff that you like, over and over again the type of stuff that you like to listen to, over and over and over again the type that you like to look at, the type of stuff you like to look at, all that stuff. It's going to show you everything you want to see all day to keep you looking at the phone, because it's about advertising. And if advertisers know you're looking at the phone, that's how the companies get paid. So they need you looking at your phone. So you've been a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years on social media, and you've only been in an echo chamber, and you think your way is the only way. And when you run into a different bubble that they have everybody in, because they got all these algorithm bubbles, you know, the conservative bubble, the liberal bubble, this bubble, that bubble. And when you make a mistake and poke into another bubble, you're like, oh crap, this is whole world of what? You know, like, it's insane. These people over here are crazy, you know, but these are people that everybody thinks different. And I kind of had the same realization like a couple years ago, you know, when I was in one of those little social media bubbles. And I'll never forget when we first, you know, started circulating, and it was a conservative that shared one of our tweets that we were working on one of our school buildings or whatever like that. And I see all these white people with these American flags and Trump people and all that stuff was like all on my stuff. I'm like, who are these folks? Like, why are they here? Like, this is crazy, you know. But I had to figure it out like that. So now, if you ever pay attention to my following, like on Instagram, especially, like my following is so split. Like I got conservatives, and then you got people in the Nation of Islam, and you got the guys and earths, and these people, and CPAC people, and Republicans, the Hoteps. You got everybody on there because everybody supports what we were doing. But I love that because it's so mixed and so diverse. Like, so whenever I do say something that everybody agrees with, it's like they're under there trying to argue, but I'm like, there's no reason to argue because you literally agree. Just let it go. It's okay to agree with somebody, you know, from a different perspective. It's okay, you know. But I'm glad my page is kind of being able to be used as a catalyst for starting conversations between people who don't agree, because people get in that echo chamber and lose their minds because they think their way is the only way.
You know, even when they say, you know, well, you have access to a search engine. And I'm like, well, you need to know what to type in there, and you need to be able to spell at least a little bit. You need to have some knowledge to really utilize the search engine, because typing in how to make money might not bring up the search engine results that are good for you, right?
Right.
You type in how to make money, they'll be talking about all these things that require you to first have money. You know,
exactly.
Like drop shipping or, you know, whatever hustle it is, you know, and that's only going to take you but so far. But it's a huge mountain, and I think sometimes you know, you need people that are going to these communities, or people that are set up establishments like yourself to really get people the exposure. And I think a lot of what makes your work great is the fact that you do have access to a conservative base, to a Trump style base, because these people have wealth, and they have a wealth of knowledge too. And you see how much money you've been able to raise. So it sort of dispels the myth that, you know, Republicans are racist. When you look at the amount of money you raise, it's like, I don't think that is entirely true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, they've taught, you know, our students so much. You know, people, we even last October, like these people flying me and my students out on private jets, like to go different places or whatever. And we ain't never been on no PJ. My students, they was their first flight. Your first flight on a PJ, bro? Like,
I ain't never been on no PJ.
Yes, bro. It was a beautiful experience. The food on there, everything. Like these folks, and they just want to show the kids like how they could do. Like they put us in like these super nice penthouses and let them go to Walmart, gave us a gold debit card, told us to go buy whatever we want. Like, and they took us to their company. They gave us a full day with people. Even the people in the company was like, we never flew on the jet before. Like, you know, so they showing them, you know, the story. And the owners and CEOs are like, this is where I come from. You can do the same thing. Black was included. You know, they're just like, look, this is what you can do. This is where you can come. You know, and you ain't got to play sports and all that. Let me show you how to get into this insurance business. Let me show you how to get into, and these are stuff that they're teaching our students, and they get to see it. You know, so these people, they don't care about what color we are or nothing. They ain't said nothing about politics the whole time we've been there, not once. You know, they may have found me from there, but they not talking to those kids about politics. They want to see them kids succeed. And that's something I've been able to see with my actual own eyeballs, you know, is people that don't know us, have no clue about us, send us a couple emails, we set up some stuff, and now we in Utah jet skiing. Like, you know, that's how it is, you know, and I'm just grateful for it, you know, that base that we have. And these people are constant, continuous supporters. And that's how we were able to make things happen. And these kids get to get experiences they never have, you know, in the public school system or any system. If I were to just stay in that echo chamber and only with people that I know and talk to, that makes no sense. But you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know, and people have to be exposed.
So a couple of things unpacked there. Exposure, right? Being exposed to being on a PJ. Hey, like a child's eyes on a PJ is now open, and now he has something real and tangible he can touch that he can aspire to. Like, wow, this is real. I did this. I traveled. That's also like a piece that I'm talking about, like comes to proximity. Exposure is a huge piece, exposing people. especially the youth, to these different experiences, you know, make them cultured. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was racism, right? It seems like if we were to bifurcate the world, simply we could just say upper class and lower class, and it seems like racism is a thing of the lower class and not so much of the upper class. The upper class has different ambitions and look at, you know, the lower class all the same, regardless of color. But like you said, these are people who are super wealthy that are like, I'm gonna put these black kids on my plane and fly them out here, you know, whatever. But in my own personal experience, what I notice is that the people who haven't made it to that next level or are jealous of people in the same range as them, like, for example, I've been on Rogan and all these different shows. There's people that won't talk to me because I've been on Rogan. There's people that'll make up lies about me because I've been on Rogan, right? So it says something to the fact that I've skipped over all these gatekeepers and went straight to the bosses like Gutfeld, Jones, Rogan, Tim Pool, right? And I think it's because people at the top have different eyes.
Right.
They're not looking at things from a jealousy perspective because they're already successful.
Exactly.
So all of their judgment is not clouded anymore. And it just says a lot about class and what the different behaviors are amongst the class.
Yep.
Really.
It's like, it's where our minds are.
You said what?
It's where our minds are. I think all that's done
there are growing
on purpose because if you can keep the low people low because you need people to work, that's what they're gonna do. And that could be feeding us racism, etc. And not to say that racism ain't real, it is real, but it's to the point where they have us with like racism shades on, like everything is racist. And I'm like, that's where you have messed up, because now when actual racism happens, it ain't that serious no more because everything is racist now. Like any interaction between somebody black and white got to be racist. You know, anything that may be holding us back is racist. I'm just like, listen, like we got to stop that. Like, or even like in my hometown, our mayor, he's white, but we in an 80% black town. We voted him in, you know, because we didn't like the other candidates. But as soon as he says something that we don't agree with, oh, it's just because of the racism, I'm just like, stop calling this man. He's like, I am not racist. He's like, I wish I would stop saying that. He's like, I'm not. But then it turned people like that racist. Like, I don't like black people because I'm trying to help them, and you done made them racist now. Yep. You know, so it's you know, I get tired of that, but that's again a lower level type thing that people talk about all the time, because you got to blame something. It might as well be racism. But people in the upper class, I just don't think that black billionaires and white billionaires are in the same room. Like, oh yeah, my billions are different than yours because you're white. And I don't think they having them conversations. They are either talking about how to make more money or how they got there, or ain't talking about money at all. You know, so it's they're having fun, they're enjoying themselves. But you know, I think Malcolm Flex posted something the other day, and he said, people don't say it is what it is enough anymore. And that's why, you know, people are so stressed out and so sad and so depressed. You know, it's sometimes, hey, it just is what it is. Charge it to the game and keep moving. But they do this on purpose. You know, they got to keep us upset and riled up so we don't think. Because the thinking mind is a free mind, and they don't need free minds because how they operate.
Absolutely. Exactly. All right, let's shift gears here. Let's talk about this masculinity situation and what it's like being a young man at your age. You are a one-time divorcee, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So walk me through that experience. You were young. You decided to get married young and then divorced. How did that story go?
Yeah, I got married immediately out of high school. I was 18. Married my high school sweetheart.
Why?
She and I. Let me get into it. So I met her when we was like 14. And you know, we hit it off, and we just had been together that whole time. And she had a very bad family background, very, very bad family background. They were very nasty people, especially to her. And I would be on the phone listening to the abuse, all that stuff. It's the family is crazy. And so when we graduated, that was my way of trying to rescue her. And I married her because I wanted to get her away from them. And I had a job, and I was raised in a full family. I was raised with mom, stepdad, granddads, uncles, the whole masculine tree. That's me. You know, I had all that. And you know, she had none of that. She had all single women, everybody single down to the grandmom, the aunties, the cousins, everybody single and independent, don't need no man, but everybody got children. But and that's how it was. That's all she saw growing up. And she didn't have her dad. Her stepdad was a great man, but her mom and her stepdad's relationship ended because of the mom. And he's an awesome man. He's a pastor. Same thing with the grandma's ex-husband. Granddad, phenomenal man, fishing man, you know, man's man, a great man. He's so awesome. You know, he said the same thing. He just like, I just couldn't deal with attitude. I couldn't deal with this and that. So we got married against my family's wishes. You know, my family was like, we're going to support you, but we don't think that this is the, you know, girl for you to marry, because they never taught me against, you know, getting married early or anything. It's about who you choose. And they taught me how to choose, and I was directly going against their wishes, you know, to do that. And they were just like, we're going to support you. We can't tell you what to do, but we don't think that this is the right young lady. So I got married, and I went to the military. I went to the Marines, and she stayed with my mom and my stepdad for a couple months, and they were trying to, you know, teach her different things as I was gone and stuff like that, because they just noticed certain things, like some of the verbal, you know, altercations and things like that as we were young. And my mom, you know, would try and help her and stuff like that, to try to talk to her. But my mom just always said she just never wanted to listen to her, you know, try to teach her different things. And as things went by, I'm not going to get into the super details, but things happened that I didn't like. And especially after I came from the military, we had a baby. We had baby King, and I came back from the military, and you know, yep, my first son. And that's baby King. And I bought a house when I was 19. We moved out there. It's the same house I started my summer camp in. And things happened I wasn't not liking, and it was on a consistent basis. And I left. I left home. I told her I didn't want to be there anymore. And this was I was about 20 years old. I had just finished my summer camp, and I just told her I didn't want to be there anymore. I still took care of everything. I still paid all the bills, you know, still took care of my son, whatever. And during that time period, I was talking to other chicks, you know, while I was gone and whatever. And obviously she was still upset, trying to look and find and stuff or whatever. So a whole lot of them altercations happened, finding old chicks I was talking to, even though we weren't actually together at the time. We were still married. That was wrong, but still I did it. I was about 2021. I had just went viral too. Yeah, it was a lot happening at that time. So that's when it happened. But anyway, yes. But anyway, we tried to work it out again. I came back home, and we had William, my second son. And the same things were happening again, and I left again. But this time I left like final. That was it. And I had been gone for about 2 years from the house. And I still had been taking care of the kids, but I finally filed last year. I filed last year because I was because her mom is still doing that, still legally married thing, and haven't been with the person for 10, 12 years, but they still legally married. I wasn't doing that. I'm like, look, I need to be, you know, completely free, and also want to make sure I have the rights to my children, et cetera, et cetera. So I filed last year, and that ended this year. But I have full rights to my children. My children attend my school. We have split visitation. I see them 7 days a week to spend the night, but they also attend my school too. So I see them during the day, but for a week they stay the night with her. I still pay all the bills there. I voluntarily asked to pay the mortgage and the light bill there. I bought her a new car. I got the whole house renovated before I left. I gave her the house, gave her the land, and she has a truck. My parents bought her. I pay for the kids' insurance. I pay for all their clothes, and I put myself on child support. So she has literally not a care in the world. I do appreciate who she is as a mom. We just didn't work out as a couple. But we co-parent well.
There are growing
of course, it got really ugly when I first filed. Sure, of course that was going to happen. But other than that, you know, things have mellowed all the way out, and you know, we're doing good. We still take the kids out and things like that. But that's what happened with my marriage. I learned a lot there. I'll say that. And definitely will listen to wise counsel from now on. So but that's how that happened. So I've lived a lot of life to be 24, but
yeah,
that's how that happened.
So what's the dating scene like nowadays? Especially because you're like, what, 23, 24?
24, yeah. I just turned 24 last Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh, happy belated, man.
I appreciate it. I don't know what a dating scene is. Bro, to be honest, I wouldn't hop in the dating scene like for real, because of who I am and what I'm doing, it's like I almost have to hide who I am. Like this chick I met or whatever, like I told her like my middle name, but I didn't want her, because I wanted her to know me for a second before you figured out that I got this and that and followers and cool car or whatever like that. I want you to just meet me first or whatever like that, you know, and, you know, I got to like her and stuff like that. And that was cool. You know, we still cool, whatever like that. But, you know, this is now certain things I'm just not having, not accepting certain things, but we can be friends, you know, that's fine. But I live so much life married. I'm just some stuff I'm not taking, like this. I'm not taking that. This is not happening. And it's hard because chicks like that's my age. It's insane out here. So most of the chicks I was dating was way older. Like I was 42-year-old, 36, whatever. Like most of the chicks I was dating was super older, but never anybody my age. I was never even interested in anybody my age. So it's like trying to talk to chicks my age is like their minds are Jesus. But that's where we are, because I was raised like super old school, traditional. I'm paying all the bills. I don't want you working for nobody. You know, if you was working for somebody, you're working for yourself, you know, and we gonna help fund your business and all that stuff. That's all I grew up seeing. All I saw was, you know, a man taking care of a woman. That's it, you know, and she drive whatever car she want to drive, go buy what she want to buy, and we handle business, you know, as long as we get what we get at home, you get what you get, you know, and that's the 50-50, you know, that's the 100-100. I give all of me, you give all of you. But nowadays it's a lot, man. I wouldn't do that anyway. I wouldn't get married to the state anymore either. That's not happening. But unless the rules change. But I wouldn't get married to the state anymore ever again. I would get married before God, and I would declare her my wife in front of everybody. And you know, and of course you can give all the same permissions in a contract that you do in a marriage. You could say this person is to get such and such if I die. This person is on my life insurance. You can do all that without being married. Well, married legally to the state, but the state having access, that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, the dating pool now, man, it's yeah, social media is got everybody all wrapped up.
You mentioned it's insane. These chicks are insane. What are some of the characteristics, personality types, needs, wants, asks that you're seeing from these chicks that you call insane? What are you seeing here?
Yeah, when I say insane, it's just a lot of the conversations that are on social media. My uncle calls it SMAR. When girls give SMARs, social media ads responses, that's what he calls them. And he's just like, why are you talking to me like this is a meme? Why are you talking to me like you're posting a status? Or that you can hear when somebody's saying something they heard posted or whatever. I can't stand that. That is insane to me. Like, can you have an actual conversation? You didn't come up with that word. You saw it on a podcast. Like, you can tell there's no real convo going on. I can't accept this because, you know, such and such and such. You know, it's just all the podcasty stuff you can hear and the memes they share and all that. I'm just like, this is you know. So we talked about it yesterday on that tweet you made. Chicks, you know, that I take serious anyway, they don't have no more than 1,000 followers. Can't have more than that. Your page is private. You barely post pictures, and we ain't got no mutuals. That's it. Those are the rules. I don't want no mutuals. You don't know nobody I know. Your page is private. You barely post photos, and you got less than 1,000 followers. That is it. So everybody in my phone got that same thing. That's how it's gonna work now. Because that social media stuff, it's sick though, for real. It's really sick, man. Just how people can't think for themselves no more. That's what you're seeing. It ain't that like the requirement is that they're not meeting. It's just what social media is telling them is real is not. You know, like how it's outlandish for me to not want you outside the house like past 7-8 street light time. Like, why are you outside? What reason is there for you to be out there past the street lights? Be for real. Why are we out there? You know, like, unless you're with me, what other reason is there for you to be out? Unless there's an absolute emergency, you should be in the house. That rule goes for my sister. She knows the same thing. My mom, my grandma, they already know either I'm going to call, my stepdaddy going to call, my brother going to call. Why are you outside? What are you doing? Is there something important? That's why we go put gas in their car. I go put gas in my kid's mom's car. Why? Because I don't want her going to the gas station with my kids. Like, I just think the gas station is absolute nonsense. You know, we do stuff like that because I don't want you in trouble. But it sounds like control. I'm like, but when something happens, then you want me to save you. But if you didn't put yourself in that position in the first place, then, you know, so it's a lot of it. They be thinking about control. And I will say a lot of these guys do want that control aspect of, relationship, but they don't provide the type of things that we may provide. They out here working at McDonald's thinking they finna tell a girl, oh, you can't wear that and this. Bro, you ain't even paying her phone bill, bro. Like, who you to tell her she can't wear this, man? Get out her face. She's not listening to you, but you have to be of a certain echelon to be able to provide stuff for them to be able to listen to. That's what I think. If you want chicks to listen and you want your girl to listen to you, whatever, you gotta be protecting and providing a certain way, or at least enough for her to want to listen. Because if she paying for anything, she definitely gonna have a whole lot of this every now and then. A chick who paying bills is gonna give a little lip. I'll never forget when I was married and I did lose my job once, right before I started my summer camp, and she had to go work while I had to stay home with baby King, and she was working because I couldn't find a job, but she finally got one. And even though I was still cutting hair and fixing cars or whatever like that, trying to make it work, every little dollar she had to get, it's just like they get a little to walk around the house and say something about some, and walk around. Why this looking like this? Or why this? This? It's just a lot of little extra mouth. I couldn't deal with that. I felt so emasculated. I'm like, nah, you finna get off that job because you walk around here with a whole lot of this right now, and I ain't even did nothing. Nah, I just walk around like they the man of the house or something. Nah, can't have that.
So what it seems like is a personality switch when she's the breadwinner and the man is down. It seems to be some animosity there.
Yep, it is. It is. You can't hit no chick. They can act like it all day, but if your man's taking care of you completely, there's just a certain way you just feel about him. There's a certain softness that you see. I mean, I witnessed it growing up from my grandma, my mom, whatever. Like when they not having to take care of stuff, you just see the joy and regular happiness. They see you outside doing something. They just want to make you a sandwich. Like they just want to do whatever it is to make you happy, because you doing whatever it is for them that they need and making sure they have everything at the house and blah, 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 blah. And they can do whatever they need. But the moment they got to start doing stuff, I don't know what it is. It's like a switch that turns on. Like why I got to, put the man on now? Why I got to put the pants on today? And I understand sometimes things do happen and you may have to hold it down for a little bit. But there is going to come a time where y'all may get into it, a little argument or whatever. You're going to say something slick out the mouth about having to pay the bills or whatever. That's just how it is. And when you're in an argument with a woman, they're going to hit you below the belt on purpose. And I don't care what it is. That's just the facts. If let's say you made a mistake and peed in the bed, Kevin Hart talked about this. We could be having a little mini argument. And, well, ain't nobody saying that when you peed in the bed. Whoa, come on. That was between both of us. Like, why we got to do that? Yeah. A woman, when you're arguing, especially if you may be winning the argument or whatever like that, which is why I don't like to argue no more, they are going to hit you below the belt. Like you could have did that 6 years ago. Well, when we was in high school and I caught you with that chick, at the hotel, I'm like, baby, we 36. Like you still said, but she got to win, So imagine her paying the bills, man. Nah, I can't have that. No.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Because I made that comment the other day and women been on my head the whole past 24 hours, been on my neck, saying all types of shit about me. I said, damn, baby, it was a joke. Y'all ain't got no sense of humor on here. You kicked
no jokes, bro. No jokes.
They be ready to just fucking assassinate your character. And I'm just like, damn, baby.
Oh, they be trying to kill you. They be trying to kill you.
Facts. And,
I don't know why they go so low with it. Oh, you supposed to be in jail. Whoa, in jail for what? What are you even talking about? Like, what?
Yeah. They would try to ruin your life. So
they would try to ruin you, but and then they apologize later. So
there's a bit of a conundrum here because we mentioned out-earning men. And now we're in a space where because of OnlyFans and other websites, there's even some women out here who don't do the nudity on OnlyFans. They'll just do, I think they call them lewds, right? Where they're like, I guess just skimpy clothes or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And to me, seems like a gateway to OnlyFans. But anyway, but they're making a massive amount of money. How does that bode for dating and relationships when so many women, especially just, let's say, selling their body on Instagram, it might not be the extreme of OnlyFans and nudity and adult content. It could just be, bikini pictures, and Fashion Nova sponsors them, and all these different places sponsor them. Now they got these huge incomes. That pretty much puts them in a bracket to only date, Saudis, basically, right? Or athletes. So what is this? How does all this bode for young men in the future, and how are they supposed to navigate this world? How are they supposed to find a good woman?
You better get some money in your pocket. That's just being straight up. You get some money in your pocket and do something with yourself. But I mean, them chicks like that, like the bikini OnlyFans chicks, them chicks to go have fun with. I'm not gonna marry you. He's crazy. If you even had an OnlyFans before, I couldn't do it because I'm gonna be somebody eventually, and I don't got no time for nobody pulling out no old nude photos of you and blah blah blah. Like, don't have time for that. But yeah, they something to have fun with. I tell the students the same thing. They can get mad all they want, but that's something to see, like their photo, cool. Oh, you look great, whatever. I wouldn't marry it. No, absolutely not. And most chicks that you probably marry, you'll run into in person. Any chick, and to be for any chick that I would marry, like maybe tomorrow or something like that, or maybe in a year. I didn't meet them on social media. I met them in person. Like, I met them. I saw them, at Walmart or whatever like that. Like, I saw them in person. Like, man, like, who are you? I met a chick at a nail salon, whatever. Like, you could just tell off their energy, and you may run into them on social media, but highly doubt it. Most of the chicks you probably want to marry are at your local Walmart at 7:00 in the morning, or at Publix or whatever. Like, that's where they are, but you just have to put yourself in different areas where the type of women might be at, whether that be at the gym, and then pick what type of gym you go to, church. Whether people want to believe it or not, good women are still at church. They are at church, and they're doing phenomenally. And they're some of the greatest women that you could deal with, women at church. So church, the gym, school teachers, whatever. These women are out there and they're looking for you. And they make their own little money. It ain't no OnlyFans girl money that you got to worry about, but it's enough money to be able to, you can make a little bit more than her and have her own money. So she can do whatever she needs to do with it and hold it down. Like, her money is emergency fund money. So if we do come on bad times, we got emergency fund money holding us up. But I tell the kids, there's either somebody like me is gonna come get your girl, or you gonna keep her. Like, you gotta figure it out. Like, you go get you a good job, go figure it out, go make something happen. You're here for a reason. I'm teaching you all this stuff for a reason. You should be able to go out here and be successful and find a good woman. But you're not gonna find a good woman out here working at McDonald's and trying to figure it out. Not in this day and age, maybe before, but right now, trying to find a good chick, they got access to so many men and so many different kinds of men just online. That pretty chick picture you keep liking on social media, she's on somebody's yacht right now. So I'm just saying, either you gonna make it there to get that fine chick, or you gonna have to date on your level. Period, point blank. You either look real good when you got money, you look real ugly when you ain't got none. So a chick, she has value already, especially if she's beautiful. There's no beautiful chick that I believe should be broke and beautiful. There's no way, not in this day and age. Somebody's gonna pay you and take care of you. And
right?
Absolutely. I can't get away from it. There's things that women can do and things that men can do, and I believe women are so powerful. There's some things that I love that women do, and it's so magical to me that we can't do, and a type of energy that they have that we don't have. And the same in the other roles. Like, for example, my sons want to spend every waking second of their life with their dad. The moment they get sick, I want my mommy. Like, because mommy has that healing energy. I don't have it. I don't care how much I try to rub you and come on, son. Nah, he need that soft voice and that soft hands and mommy's warmth. And then he want to be with dad and terrorize again all day. Like, we just have different energies, even with me, like when I get sick, you just want to be under a woman. Like, you be with your boys all day. When you get sick, you trying to be under some titties, or on somebody's thighs and all cuddle up or whatever like that. That's what you're trying to be when you sick, and somebody making you some tea or whatever like that. You just want to be treated like a baby. I don't know why, but the only person that can do that is a woman. Your homeboy can't do that for you, But it's more than that. But women do so many different things that they don't get credit for. And honestly, they've let people in the other movement overtake what it means to be that, because again, there's so much energy and so many things that they do that they have that we cannot, no matter how hard they try. We can't. Women have a special thing about them that was created specially for them, and we must acknowledge it and respect it. And that's why I believe in gender roles. That's why we protect her. We don't protect women because we're weak. We protect them because they're important. So that's what I believe in.
Indeed. How do you suppose we fix this? Because the left does a good job of, confusing the gender roles, acting like there's no such thing as gender roles, or gender period, or whatever the hell they got going on. But as far as, even some of the online conversations around dating and gender roles, et cetera, and I do my bit of trolling. What would you say to young men on, or even the listeners who may be older to combat this bit of a culture war that we have here?
Man, honestly, if I could say get off social media and just go live for a bit, I would recommend, everybody take a couple days from social media. Maybe spend half your week on social media and half off, so you could just really see the world and understand actual people. If you notice, you don't even notice how many times you pick up your phone. And I'm glad iPhone even tells you how many times you lift your phone up a day. Like if you go look on your thing, it tells you how many times you lift your phone up, what notification you looked at, how many times you unlocked your phone, whatever. Like if you take your phone away from yourself, like for a couple hours, you never even realize how many times you just trying to pick up your phone so you can scroll. Like that's all day. You're not interacting anymore. You're not talking to people. You're not interacting with your family anymore. And you don't notice it until somebody says it. Like you're like, dang, I do be picking up my phone so much. Or dang, I do be, oh man, I wasn't talking to old dude that was right there. You're not aware of your surroundings. You're not aware of what's happening. The first way to get away from that is to unplug from the little programming they have us in and pay attention to what's actually going on. And all the stuff that they're talking about, the opposite is actually going on in the world. They're convincing us things are happening when it's not. Nobody's out here in real life actually arguing about gender. Name me, aside from social media, when you have actually seen an argument about gender in person. Let me know. And when you've gone to the gas station, when you go to Walmart, when you at school, when is anybody actually arguing about any of these things you see on social media? Never. No. Because it's only on the programming. They're convincing us these things are happening and they're not. Like even the guy was talking about COVID. He was like, you saw COVID everywhere, TV, online. When did you see COVID in person? Let me know. He was like, did you actually see COVID? When did you see COVID? You never did. You just saw it online. So it's like they're convincing us these things are true when they're not. I've yet to see black women and black men arguing in person about black women hating black men. I haven't seen it at the family reunion. Nothing. Nobody's arguing about this stuff in person. Nobody's talking about it in person. It's only on this programming that you're looking at. That's it. Go unplug and look at real world and watch how normal life is instead of what social media or this phone's telling you. That's how we combat the culture war or whatever's happening. Get off your dang phone for a minute and go touch grass.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think there's a contingent of women that, for example, when I go out and, I see just a fairly attractive woman, I just look at it and I kind of clap my hands in my head because I'm like, you could have been on OnlyFans and you chose to work the drive-through line at Chick-fil-A or whatever, right? And I'm just like, wow. So it's sort of like you said, it's something's happened online, but in the real world, it's a completely different story, where people don't want to feed into this cultural Marxism or whatever you want to call it, degradation of morality, et cetera, et cetera. But the Hotep ladies, like Hotep Virgin Mary, she's very trad. Sharice, she's very trad. At least from the outside looking in, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they're not like OnlyFans chicks or anything like that, right? Like they still believe in these gender roles. So there is some hope out there. You would agree with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would definitely think it's hope out there. But also then you also got the grift of pretending to be traditional too. So you got women that do that too. They say they're traditional, but they still be posting little skimpy pictures, and they'll post something with clothes on, but it's real tight. And they try to turn to the side so you can see their booty and all that. Like, yeah, that pretending to be traditional stuff. I see you. Like, I'm watching everybody. Like, you ain't traditional for real, because why are you posting all day? Right. They ain't traditional women ain't posting on social media all day, but that's neither here nor there. But that's a grift all in itself. But it's definitely hope out here. Just go outside. They're out there. I promise. There's good women everywhere. I promise you. If a good woman ain't found you yet, it's because you're a dork. Like that's all I can tell you. Like it's good women out there that actually do buy men stuff. They buy nice gifts. They buy you cologne and they get you a haircut. They send you some flowers. It's nice chicks everywhere. I promise. You just a dork if you can't find them, if they ain't found you yet, you know. So that's just facts. Get yourself together, get in the gym, get you a nice haircut, go get get something done, go brush your teeth or something, go put on some deodorant, you know, just look nice, smell good, invest in some cologne, you know, go hit the gym, do something, you know, do all that. Women like all of it, you know, no matter who you are. And even the most ugliest guys, get some business about yourself and you will pull chicks. I promise. That's any man. I don't care how ugly you are. If you ugly and skinny, then that's your problem. Get unskinny. You can't fix ugly, but you can fix your pockets. You can fix your weight. You can fix all this other stuff. Your funds, your car. Fix all that. You will pull chicks, and nice chicks at that. I promise. You will find a.
Well, you're onto something, but you actually can fix ugly. They've looked at these studies, and they said when people are in shape, their face changes. You begin to have more attractive features, right? Like your cheekbones and all that situation. Like you'll see even like the big girls, they lose weight and everybody goes, no, that's not the same woman. And it's like, no, her face has just been shaped according to her weight loss. And you'll even see it with guys. I remember when I bulked up, my face changed. It was like more fuller. I didn't like it, but your face does change. You look different depending on the chemistry of your body. But yeah,
even if you're happy and stressed or all that stuff plays a part in whether you're ugly or not. I can definitely agree. Even how your attitude is, and who you're dealing with, whatever, all that stuff could make changes. Could you ever see a chick, you first see her, she's beautiful, then you see her attitude, she just turned ugly? It's crazy. Like I noticed that my first time seeing that was in middle school. I'll never forget. It was this chick we used to like, everybody in middle school. She was so fine. Oh, she was so pretty, whatever. And then her attitude as the year went by, she turned, by the end of the year, she was butt ugly. I swear to God. You know, like everybody, that was the one everybody went, but her attitude just turned her all the way ugly. Like I will say that. And then your status, care what you say, makes you look better. Like you ever see a chick who be real ugly and broke, but then when she makes some money or whatever like that, she ain't got to put on the makeup and she just look better. Just in general, you know, she just look better. Just all of that. So I will, yeah, you're right. You can change ugly. Probably not like the direct, right. You know, yeah, but of course it'll definitely fix yourself. You know, if you want some chicks, fix yourself. That's what I'll say. They out there, they want you, but you got to go get them. And it's plenty of them that's single. So if you want them, go get them. And all of it is a competition.
I mean, you said a word there because I remember once upon a time I was dating some chick and another chick asked me, she's like, why are you dating her? You know, she's not exactly the most attractive. And I'm like, yo, her brain is beautiful. Like her mind is so beautiful, which in turn makes you not see, you know, the person actually becomes attractive when you see the things that they're thinking about and their morality and integrity and the type of thoughts that they entertain. All of that stuff kind of makes people attractive. So she was, you know, judging somebody by their looks, and I'm like, personality can make you look better or can make you look worse. Because like you said, I done seen some ugly chicks that by the time they got done talking, I'm like, yo, I gotta go. Like, can I leave now?
Yeah, dude, I've seen it, but you know, that's the reality. Because I see my uncle said before, he like, chicks be out here worrying about while we at Sally Mae house and Sally Mae ugly. You worry about how Sally Mae look instead of how Sally Mae make me feel. And that's why I'll be over there tonight. Thank you very much. Like, my uncle don't be playing, dog. But he's so serious. It's the truth. It's the truth. Like, chick be like, oh, she ain't got nothing on me. Good. Look, that's great to hear, dear. I'm glad that makes you feel better. I'm still going over there tonight. Thanks so much. Like, that's just the reality. It's how you make somebody feel, not how you look. And usually them chicks who look like a 10, you never date a 10. You date a 6 or a 7. You date a 6 or a 7 who can turn into a 10, but you don't date no outright 10. They already too far gone. Most of all of them already know they look good and they know they can get any man they want. Yeah, y'all are forever to have fun with.
And they be the most insecure too.
Yes, man. Just get you a smooth 6 or a 7 who look good at Walmart, Because she looked good at Walmart with her hair tied up and all that already. She looked good like that. Imagine her on a date. Man, please.
Go to
Walmart. Go to Walmart at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. They all in there and they single too. So go in there.
There's some good dating advice right there.
Yeah. Go to Walmart at 7 o'clock in the morning. They in there. Don't go in the afternoon now. After school. All the mamas in there with the food stamp. Don't go in there at that time. Go in there about 7, 8. They be just left the gym. Going to get them some fruit for their smoothie. When they get home or whatever like that, going to read, they do yoga. That's them. Go in there about 7 to 8 when they first open. They in there. Just walk around for a little bit. And grab you something masculine. Grab you like I don't know, some dumbbells or something to ride around.
Exercise seems to cure a lot. Telling you, man. I got a super chat here. What up, Dax? Dax said, when you visited HJ, I told you, no matter how bad you think it is out here in the dating marketplace, it's worse. Also, King Randall, agreeing amplified, should have said, baby, why were you rolling around in the pee? That'd have been a funny rebuttal.
Yeah, but it is somebody for everybody. My uncle always says, and again, my uncle is saying this, so don't say I said it. He always tells me, he said it's somebody out here for everybody. He said, but I always remember, all women are the same. Some are worse. Find you one that's the same. And every time he said that, it always sticks as I get older because I'm like, dang, like, I understand what you mean. He's like, listen, you done found you one that's worse. Find you one that's the same. Like, don't get one that's worse. Meaning they all have something, that may be wrong or some certain emotional issue, whatever like that, or different things that they deal with. Same as us or whatever like that. But then you have those that are worse. They all the same. But then you got some that just got real bad stuff. We're not dealing with that now. I can deal with a little, I don't think I'm pretty or whatever like that. We can deal with a little of that. But key in my car and want to pop tires and all that goodness, the danger zone. Nah, we stay away from them. So again, most of them the same. Some are worse. Find you one that's the same. That's what my uncle always said. So you take that how you want to, but I think that saying is absolute truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, King Randall. Yo, I got your link in the description box. Ladies and gentlemen, my special guest here is King Randall, X for Boys School. Go support X for Boys. TheXforBoys.org?
Yep, TheXforBoys.org. Yes, sir.
TheXforBoys.org. What's funny is every time I look at that, I just see a double entendre. Like,
talk to me.
Because Y represents men and X represents women. So to me, all I see is coochie is for boys. It's like I just see a heterosexual. I know it wasn't meant to be that, but I just see a heterosexual jab there.
As long as it's something positive, I've been reaching out to Elon too. I want Elon to hit us. I told him on Twitter the other day. I said, "Hey man, everybody saw X and they thought of us. Don't be out here not making this partnership happen when it need to, my boy." So I'm gonna tweet him every day till he see it. But
we gotta make that
follow some people that follow me. So I'm trying not to go the route of asking them to send it to him or retweet because I don't want to seem like too much. But some stuff, the worst they can say is no.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna really be like, hey man, shoot this to my guy, please, because this will make sense in the world. We need that partnership or something. Have the kids come out to one of the factories or whatever. Like do something with them. I think it'll be something awesome, man. So that's what I look forward to. And sorry, my kids gave me the cooties if I sound like a little duck or whatever like that. I got 2 toddlers running around snot nose, and now I'm snot nose. So
see, that's what I don't miss about because I homeschool my boys, so we haven't gotten sick all year because they're not in school.
My kids, they go to my school, but they still kids.
They still kids,
and they still be touching stuff and licking the floor like weirdos and all that dumb stuff. Yeah. That's toddlers for you, man.
But I appreciate you passing through, bro. And anytime you need access to my platform, let me know. It's always there for you.
I appreciate it, man. I say anytime you want to have regular convos, just hit me up. This ain't like a interview style thing, just me talking. So I appreciate it so much.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with the Grift Report right after these short commercial break.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
What up, people? We back. Canon Hotep, appreciate you, bro. He says, salute King out here doing the Lord's work. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Young God out here putting in work. We appreciate him. Step Colonel says, shout out King Randall. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to see my feet? Yesterday was funny as hell. They gonna take me to Hotep Court after my shenanigans yesterday. It's all good though. Anyway, shout out to my Hotep Con ticket holders. Don't forget Syscoin, sponsorship, off-road experience, dinner in the desert, off-road experience in these SUVs. Yeah, gonna grill up some steaks or something out there in the desert. It's gonna be really good. Hotep Con ticket holders, make sure you hit the link in the description box below to figure out how you can enter to win this getaway, this off-road experience. All right. So shout out to Syscoin for that. We appreciate you. Make sure you download the Pally wallet, P-A-L-I wallet, available on your phone and browser extension as well. Get the Pally wallet. So in case you win Syscoin, I can send it to you. All right. Without further ado, let's see what's in the Grift bag and where we want to start here. So we got some libertarian stuff, but let's start right here. Let's pull this up on your screen. This is wild. This is absolutely wild, people. So we know SBF. We spoke about that last week. SBF seems to be moving away from his lawsuit. A lot of these things are being forgiven. But FTX has confirmed a plan to relaunch. It says here that FTX debtors filed their initial plan of reorganization and a summary term sheet to facilitate creditor feedback on the plan with stakeholders. Read details here. So, okay, that's an organization of the bankruptcy. Okay, so here's their plan. It says our goal is to achieve a consensual plan. I don't want to read that because that's just going to be bullshit. Customers of the U.S. exchange were next and following. Yeah. Hold on, Tanai is texting me. What up, Tanai? You want me to put the Lizzo shit in the Grift bag? All right, say less. I was trying to skip that, but it's a special request from Tanai. You want me to talk about the Lizzo situation? We're going to talk about that next. My only question with regards to the FTX thing is, are people really going to have faith in this thing now? Absolutely amazing that they would relaunch this thing. I would imagine they would change names. That's what would make sense, right? Try and distance yourself because you hear the name FTX and you're like, yeah, I'm definitely not trusting this platform. I'm definitely not putting my money into it. But all they got to do is go back out there and get a bunch of Tom Brady types, Giselle and John Legend or whoever else. And people will be duped and come back in. But it looks like they're trying to, reboot this organization And we'll follow. Like I said, we're always going to keep you up to date on this crypto stuff, and especially this FTX situation and SBF. I just find it quite fascinating that while the SEC has come down on the majority of these exchanges, and DeFi has boomed since then, that FTX, the company who is basically responsible for, I would say, a Democratic win or Democratic wins across the nation in a previous election, SBF gets off. It just goes to show you, man, you buy a couple of politicians, you can do whatever you want. Friends in high places. Anyway, let's go back. All right, Lizzo. Let's take a look at this. What happened with Lizzo? I saw this on my timeline earlier. Wait, am I back? Am I back? I think I'm back. I think I'm back. Yeah, okay. All right. My software crashed. That was weird. I just learned something new about Rumble too, so that's good. So basically, if it goes down on Rumble, it issues a new ID, new stream key. Okay, all right. So we learned something new today. All right, let me come back and feed y'all what y'all want. Speaking of food, here's Lizzo. So where's the article? Lizzo has been sued by 3 of her former. We don't need to pull up a whole article on this, I don't think. As far as people are, actually, we might. Let's see. Lizzo has been sued by 3 of her former dancers for alleged sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment, including instances where they were weight shamed and pressured while at a strip club. Wait, what? 3 of Lizzo's former dancers have accused the singer of sexual harassment, creating a hostile work environment. According to the lawsuit filed Wednesday, they alleged that she pressured one of them to touch a nude performer at an Amsterdam strip club. All right, so yeah, we're definitely gonna have to bring the article up. I thought I was gonna get my fill from the Twitters, but we're gonna have to look at the article. What does it say here? Hostile environment, pressured one of them to touch a nude performer in an Amsterdam strip club, subjected the group to excruciating audition after leveling false allegations that they were drinking on the job. Dancers accused Lizzo of performing positive and calling attention to one dancer's weight and later berating, then firing the dancer after she recorded a meeting because of a health condition. Now, I just want to know, is she weight shaming because they're too big or because they're too small? Like, these are the details that we need to know. The suit filed on Los Angeles Superior Court, provided to NBC News by plaintiff's law firm, accuses the captain of Lizzo's dance team of proselytizing to other performers and deriding those who had premarital sex while sharing lewd sexual fantasies, simulating oral sex, and publicly discussing the virginity of one of the plaintiffs. The suit does not say if Lizzo knew about the allegations linked to the dance captain, Shirlene Quigley, but they believe that Lizzo was aware of the complaints about her. The suit names Lizzo, whose real name is Melissa Vivian Jefferson, a production company, and Quigley as defendants. In addition to the accusations, hostile work environment, sexual harassment, claims for religious and racial harassment, false imprisonment, interference with prospective economic advantage, and other allegations. Not every claim was brought against each defendant. The stunning nature of how Lizzo and her management team treated their performers seems to go against everything Lizzo stands for publicly, while privately she weight shames her dancers and demeans them in ways that are not only illegal, but absolutely demoralizing. So Lizzo was participating? Is that what they're saying here? So it says here, the suit accuses Lizzo of calling attention to the dancers' weight after her appearance at a South by Southwest music festival. The singer and a choreographer later told the dancer, Ariana Davis, that she seemed less committed to her role, a comment this suit describes as thinly veiled concern about Davis's weight. Wait, what? How can Lizzo, of all people, be concerned with weight? This is really weird. Representatives for Lizzo did not immediately respond. Quigley did not immediately respond. Efforts to reach out to her production company were unsuccessful. Amsterdam club accusations. At the club, Lizzo allegedly began inviting cast members to take turns touching the nude performers. Catching dildos launched from the performers' vaginas. What the fuck? And eating bananas protruding from the performers' vaginas, the suit says. Lizzo then turned her attention to Ms. Davis and began pressuring Ms. Davis to touch the breasts of the nude women. Davis declined, according to the suit. Lizzo allegedly led a chant goading her to do so. After Davis declined 3 more times, the chant grew louder and more strident, demanding a visibly uncomfortable Ms. Davis to engage with the performer. When Davis eventually acquiesced and briefly touched the performer, the group burst into laughter, the suit says. Afterward, Lizzo allegedly pressed a member of her security staff to get on stage and began yelling, "Take it off," according to the suit. Plaintiffs were aghast with how little regard Lizzo showed for the bodily autonomy of her employees and those around her, especially in the presence of many people whom she employed. A week later, after the show in Paris, Lizzo invited her dancers to a club so they would be able to learn something or be inspired by the performance, the suit says. What Lizzo failed to mention when inviting the dancers to this performance was that it was a nude cabaret bar. The suit described the performance as artful, but the plaintiffs were shocked that Lizzo would conceal the nature of the event from them, robbing them of the choice not to participate. Okay, so now we have the racial harassment claim. I guess this is the light-skinned shorty that they was probably colorizing. The racial harassment claim is linked to what the suit describes as comments charged with racial and fat-phobic animus that were made by touring company employees. In one instance, the former dancers asked to be compensated for their downtime at a rate of 50% of their weekly pay, according to a suit. An accountant allegedly responded to the request by offering 25% and scolding them for being unacceptable and disrespectful. Only the dance cast, comprised of full-figured women of color, were ever spoken in this manner. Okay, the religious harassment allegation is connected to Quigley. The dance captain worked as a judge on Lizzo's reality show. According to the suit, she preached her Christian beliefs and took every opportunity to proselytize to any and all in her presence, regardless of protestations. After discovering that Davis was a virgin, Quigley discussed the subject in interviews posted about it in social media. The suit says, and when cast members asked her to stop pressuring Rodriguez, whom Quigley regarded as a non-believer, according to the suit, about her faith, Quigley responded, "No job, and no one will stop me from talking about the Lord." Okay, dancers dismissed. 2 dancers were fired in April and May, according to the suit, after she spoke up in a meeting which challenged an assertion from Lizzo that the dancers were drinking before performances. The day before, Lizzo had told the group that they would have to audition again, a move that prompted what the suit described as an excruciating 12-hour rehearsal. Lizzo was dissatisfied with their performances. The suit alleges the dancers would be fired and sent home. During a rehearsal, Davis was so fearful she'd lose her job if she went to the bathroom, she soiled her pants. Damn. She was given a see-through outfit with no undergarments to finish the performance, the suit says. When Lizzo raised the issue again the following day, Williams responded saying the dancers didn't drink, the suit says. The singer then allegedly offered what the suit describes as a mocking reply. Well, if you're not, then good for y'all. 5 days later, on April 26th, Lizzo's tour manager fired Williams in a hotel lobby, the suit says. The manager attributed the termination to budget cuts, said the suit, which noted that no one else was fired. Rodriguez complained to the manager about the decision to publicly fire Williams, a move that Lizzo repeatedly raised with the dancers during an April 27 meeting, during which she told the group that she had eyes and ears everywhere, according to the suit. Davis recorded the April 27 meeting because she suffered from an eye condition that sometimes left her disoriented in stressful situations. Okay, Lizzo became furious, hurling expletives at the group, and stated that she was going to go around the room person by person until someone told Lizzo who made the recording. So there's a secret recording happening here. Davis acknowledged recording the meeting, saying she wanted to have a copy of Lizzo's performance notes, the suit says. When Davis said she hadn't meant any harm and that she deleted the video, Lizzo allegedly responded, "There is nothing you can say to make me believe you." Ms. Quigley and Lizzo then took turns berating Ms. Davis, the suit says. After castigating Ms. Davis, Lizzo fired Ms. Davis on the spot. Before Lizzo left the meeting, Rodriguez told her that she felt disrespected and would resign, the suit says. Lizzo responded by cracking her knuckles, balling her fists, and using an expletive to tell Rodriguez she was lucky, the suit states. The suit alleges false imprisonment against Lizzo's production company because a member of her security detail allegedly forced Davis to remain in the room after the meeting ended so she could search her phone for the video. Wow. The suit does not specify a dollar amount for damages that cover emotional distress. In the meantime, Lizzo continues. Okay. There's a lot to unpack here. And I'm going to try and do this as succinctly as possible. And be fair, right? And be fair and all right. So all right, let's start here. As you know, I was in the recording industry. So I know how the recording industry is when it comes to what's required from you as far as work is concerned, okay? Now, let me tell you something. My first real job that was close to the industry, right? We were close to the industry. I spent a lot of time in the nightlife and promoting in the recording industry and all of that stuff. And I got to tell you, man, like, you could take a sick day, but your job was not guaranteed. You know, if you took, let's say you took one sick day, that was risky. If you were gone 2 days, your job was pretty much gone. It was gone. You would come back in that third day and your stuff would just be packed up. They didn't care. They didn't care. It was a high pressure environment. You know, certain KPIs were set, goals were set, and you had to meet them. And if you were sick, you better had come to work and infect everybody. You know, it just, you better had come in. And I talked about this before, was, you know, I was at a point where I was suicidal, but, you know, it was really just a chemical imbalance because I was so burnt out. It was a chemical imbalance, and I was just really depressed, and that's when I went through my whole spiritual awakening, and I got away from that industry. But really, I was just overworked because I would work until 2 a.m. and then I'd be back in the office at 6 a.m. Some days I slept in the office, and it was just because I was not only a workaholic, and maybe had some sense of fear of job security, but I literally, when I first started that job, I watched somebody get fired for being sick. literally watched somebody for, the girl came in and she was 2 rows down from me. My cubicle was by the window. Hers was two down and behind me. And she was visibly sick. Like, you could look at her and be like, ugh, don't come nowhere near me. And she asked to be excused that day. She was gone that day. She was gone the next day. And those 2 days in the office, all you heard were rumblings like, oh, she's always sick. She was always sick. And I don't know what transpired before I got there, but apparently she was always sick. And when she came back, she didn't have a job anymore. Right? So that industry is very high pressure. Now, I cannot talk about the debauchery and lechery that happens in that industry because, quite frankly, I wasn't around it. I never put myself in those environments, so I never saw it. Most of my stuff was because, I was the marketing director, so I got to choose, what we sponsored. And I was sponsoring like a lot of sneaker events. I was sponsoring concerts, like Urban Plaza. We did Kendrick Lamar. We sponsored Logic. When Logic was first coming up in the industry, we sponsored that event, a Joe Budden event, and The Dream, Rita Ora. So I used to do those type of events. And then we had the nightclub. That was on Fridays. That was with Bobby Trends. And that was usually the same. The party started at like 1 a.m. and, we'd party, hang out. I'd sneak into the DJ booth and shout myself out on Hot 97. And those days were fun. But we were in a club setting, so like I didn't see any of that stuff. Now, with that being said, I did witness one thing. And it was a famous booty model. Okay, this is a famous booty model at the time. She's kind of like faded into irrelevancy now. She's a little bit older. And there was a girl in VIP with her that she did not know. And she was talking about how beautiful this girl was. Oh, you're so beautiful, so beautiful. And I watched this woman grab this girl like by the face and say, oh, you're so pretty, you're so pretty. And then like begin to just basically sexually assault her, like right in front of me. I'm like, oh shit, like this is like, and you could tell the girl was like uncomfortable, but at the same time starstruck. Like she was a fan of this girl. So she's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. But also like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm being like assaulted right now. It's because she grabbed her, pulled her on her lap, started filling her up. And it was really fucking wild to witness. So I had a glimpse into seeing like how some of this stuff happens. And I was at a regular club. And we sponsored a bunch of events at the strip club. Never seen nothing like that at the strip club. I don't know what goes on behind those doors, but I never saw anything like that at the strip club. So, and I spoke to the girl after, and she seemed okay with it, even though her body language said something different, right? So yeah, shit gets wild in the industry. Wendy Yo got some stories she could tell you. A bunch of people got stories they could tell you. So, but it feels like a frat party, this Lizzo interaction, right? Because you have a frat, you go out and it's like, oh, grab that girl's boobs. And it's like, you kind of pressured into it, like, do it, do it, do it. And everybody's chanting. So I can see that happening. I can't say it's right. It doesn't seem right, especially doing it to a woman and making her do all this stuff. But I can only come back to how the left operates. And the left is hypersexual. That's just what they are. They're just hypersexual. So when I see a story like that, I'm not surprised. It's what I fully expect from the left because they're so obsessed with sex. So, and sexual liberation and all of that stuff. So when I see this story, it's not hard to believe because that's just how the left operates. They're just very like debauched. It's really weird and creepy almost. And then the bullying, right? Like the girl has recorded it. So they basically, they call it imprisonment. They lock the door and say, hey, we're going to search your phone. We're not letting you out. I can see that. I can see that happening. I can totally see Lizzo, you know, sort of gives off that attitude when she gets angry. You know, you've seen some of the clips of her get angry and people mad about her weight. But I've seen big girls, big black girls, or just black girls, period, do shit like that to men, bully men and bully other girls all throughout my life. And I can't say it's exclusive to black women, but I haven't been around a lot of white women. But hey, when shit get ghetto, shit gets really ghetto really fast, and shit could get physical, especially when you start recording people. I can definitely see somebody saying, yo, you recorded me, yo, lock the door, they not getting out of here till they delete that or show proof that they deleted the video, et cetera, et cetera. I can see that happening. I can totally see that happening. Which is really wild, you know, somebody like Lizzo. But it kind of shows, like, damn, like, was the meeting that bad that you were afraid this stuff would leak? I don't know. But again, this stuff, because it's Lizzo, it's gonna fall by the wayside, and nobody's really gonna weigh into this except for, you know, conservative Inc. and the right wing, because they've made Lizzo the bad guy and, you know, the mascot of body positivity. It's just weird to me, though, that, you know, Lizzo's overweight and they were fat shaming. I believe it's fat shaming or weight shaming the other girls when it's like, I thought y'all wanted big girls. So I don't understand that whole situation, although I can see them doing that, you know, because really what this comes down to is job security, right? And what you're doing is you're holding people captive based upon job security. So it's a highly competitive world, the world of entertainment. You only get once in a lifetime opportunity to dance for one of these superstars like Lizzo. And it's like, you know, go on stage and grab that lady's boob or else. You know, do this or else. I can talk to you however I please. I mean, for example, just go look at some of Diddy's reality TV shows. If you want an example, look at how Diddy used to talk to his artists, like Making a Band. Go watch Making the Band, Danny D. Kane and the rest of those groups. Like, bro, like, Diddy was treating these people like they were not human. But that was a common way to deal with people in the recording industry. You are in a high pressure environment. You have a lifetime opportunity, and I'm going to talk to you like this is boot camp in the Army. That's really what it's like. This is boot camp in the Army, and this is how we're going to talk to you. So even Missy Elliott had a show once upon a time, a reality show once upon a time. And the way she was talking to some of those people, I'm like, damn. Or Simon Cowell, however you say his name, on that show that he used to do, and, you know, how he talked to some of the acts, right? He completely insult these people. And I know a lot of that was show business and was for the cameras, but that was common. I remember we were coming up and we had our artists and we showed up for this show, whatever, and the lady running the show, she had talked to me some type way, and I kind of like turned my head and looked at her like, bitch, who you fuck you talking to? Like, how dare you talk to me like I'm some child begging you for something? Like, I don't give a damn about none of this shit. But that's how she was talking to all the acts that were performing that day, because people are so desperate to be famous and find job security, they'll allow you to talk to them any kind of way, which, you know, I have the utmost respect to people who have operated in a way that wouldn't allow themselves to be manipulated like this, So yeah, that all of this stuff seems plausible and real, what do you do? What do you do about that, right? Like, I work with a lot of people. I never want to treat somebody like they're subhuman or put them under pressure and say, oh, you got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for working with Hotep Jesus. No, like, I want you to have fun. I want you to grow with me. I want you to get the skills, and we want to be successful, but I want to help you grow too. So, I never want to be in a situation where, I'm operating like that. Anyway, let's go back in the bag. Hopefully I covered all angles on that one. Let's go back in the bag. See what else is in here. All right, bookmark. All right, what's in this bag? All right, let's pull this up. This is what's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson.
My point is, apparently the XXXY chromosomes are insufficient, because when we wake up in the morning, we exaggerate whatever feature we want to portray the gender of our choice.
Wait, what? That's why I hate smart people, yo. This is why I hate like all these college type people, because they will intellectualize the most trivial things and try to make sense out of it. So Neil deGrasse Tyson is supposed to be all about science, has basically said science doesn't matter. When I wake up in the morning, that's what matters. I never woke up and was like, I have to accentuate my masculinity. That's not really a thought of mine. I was more like, all right, what do I have to do today?
Either the one you're assigned, the one you choose to be, whatever.
The one you're assigned.
It is. And so now, so now just to tie a bow on this, I say to you,
They must have came to Neil and was like, Neil, listen, we got a new show for you. We have a new opportunity. It's going to pay you big. But we need a favor. We need to know where you stand on this before we give you the spotlight. We need to know your power levels. We want to know, how dedicated are you to the agenda? And he's like, I'll show you.
Somewhere I think I read that the United States was a land where we have the pursuit of happiness.
Yes.
Suppose no matter my chromosomes, today I feel 80% female.
80% female? There's a percentage you could feel?
20% male. I'm gonna put on makeup. I'm gonna do that. Tomorrow I might feel 80% male. I'll remove the makeup and I'll wear a muscle shirt.
And then they tell on themselves because they say gender doesn't have any, known attributes. But then every time they want to be a woman, they put on a dress and makeup. And when they want to be a man, they put on a muscle shirt. So are these gender constructs real or not? Because every time you decide to change your gender, you run to one of these gender constructs.
Why do you care?
Yeah.
We don't, bro. It seems like y'all care.
What business is it of yours?
None. So why are y'all running around telling us your gender and your pronouns? It is none of. That's a great point. It's none of our business. So why does it have to be your preferred pronouns on your bio and in your LinkedIn profile and your Instagram profile and all of this stuff? Why? Why?
To require that I fulfill your inability to think of gender on a spectrum.
Yo, shout out to him. Somebody go nominate him for Grifter of the Year. That's just fine work. All right, let's go right here. We got this guy on the Joe Rogan Experience talking about climate change. You guys want to get in on the phone lines, text 202-596-5631, 202-596-5631 and get in on the phone lines. Type in Hotep and then your name and we'll get you in there accordingly. Pause.
Debated anyone about this?
So I have not debated anybody about this. Actually, I take it back. I debated this person, Richard Lindzen, in 2010. My feeling is that I won't debate the science. So the science is set. Earth, we're temperature's warming, humans are the cause. I'm happy to debate policy because I think policy needs to be debated. So if someone wants to debate energy policy with me,
why wouldn't you debate the science?
Because the science has already been debated in the scientific system.
I understand that, but to the average person that gets confused and doesn't know whether or not you're correct or Steve Koonin is correct.
Yeah, so I think
a debate would be very beneficial.
I disagree with that entirely because
how so?
Because in a one-on-one debate without the ability to fact check people. So let's
why
say,
couldn't you fact check them in real life?
In real time.
Yeah,
because
real
how
time.
do I do that? He says this paper says this, and I'm saying, do you want me to read the paper?
Yeah.
It would be a debate that would take a week.
So we do a week. I don't even think it would take a week, but there's certain points that you could get where you would go over them and we could kind of establish those points in advance. Like where's the contention? Like where's the disagreement? And why does he feel this way and why do you feel this way? And I feel like if we established like a set of parameters or a set of areas of contention.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can certainly talk about that. I think we need to work that out. But let me just sort of finish what I was saying. That the scientific system of peer-reviewed papers followed by replication, important results are always replicated by other people. That's how science determines what is right. And I feel strongly that in the one debate I did do, I thought it was terrible and was a waste of my time. And I said I would never do that again. But policy is different. Policies are value judgments. And I think you do have to have public debates about that. So I think we do need to get out there and advocate for what we think we should do.
What he said is that he got into this because he brought a bunch of people together to discuss what the science is, and he said the science is not nearly as settled as he thought it was when he first started examining it, and that's why he wrote this book, and that's why he took a deep dive into the data.
That may well be true. I can't comment on why he did what he did.
Well, that is why he did what he did. That's what he said. But the point is, like, when someone hears him or when someone hears you, there's people that would hear you and go, well, this guy's not right because Steve Koonin's right. And I heard Steve Koonin say this. And then there's people that hear you and go, well, he's right and Steve Koonin is wrong because Steve Koonin left out all these different things and he was incorrect about that and he was way too lenient on the government when it comes to this could be settled. At least it can be explained in a way that a rational person could have a more informed opinion of what's going on.
Yeah, I think you overestimate the ability to settle these issues in a debate.
Oh man, hold on. I missed a part.
But where's the contention? Like where's the disagreement? And why does he feel this way and why do you feel this way? And I feel like if we established like a set of parameters or a set of areas of contention.
Well, we can certainly talk about that. I think we need to work that out. But let me just sort of finish what I was saying. That the scientific system of peer-reviewed papers followed by replication, important results are always replicated by other people. That's how science determines what is right. And I feel strongly that in the one debate I did do, I thought it was terrible and was a waste of my time. And I said I would never do that again. But policy is different. Policies are value judgments. And I think you do have to have public debates about that. So I think we do need to get out there and advocate for what we think we should do.
What he said is that he got into this because he brought a bunch of people together to discuss what the science is, and he said the science is not nearly as settled as he thought it was when he first started examining.
I take it back. I debated this person, Richard Lindzen, in 2010. My feeling is that I won't debate the science. So the science is set. Earth, we're temperature's warming, humans are the cause. I'm happy to debate policy because I think policy needs to be debated. So if someone wants to debate energy policy with me,
why wouldn't you debate the science?
Because the science has already been debated in the scientific system.
I understand that, but to the average,
if the science is debated, then the science isn't settled.
Person that gets confused and doesn't know whether or not you're correct or Steve Koonin is correct.
Yeah, so I think
a debate would be very beneficial.
I disagree with that entirely because
how so?
Because in a one-on-one debate without the ability to fact check people, so let's
why
say,
couldn't you fact check them in real life?
Definitely could
in real time,
Yeah,
because how do I do that? He says this paper says
you could just exchange papers, and then when you come to the debate, then you discuss he reviews your papers and you review his papers, and when you come to the debate, you're all ready.
Is this, and I'm saying, do you want me to read the paper?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would be a debate that would take a week.
So we do a week. I mean, I don't even think it would take a week, but there's certain points that you could get where you would go over them, and we could kind of establish them. And
I think we need to talk about
areas of contention.
Well, we can certainly talk about that. I think we need to work that out. But let me just sort of finish what I was saying. That the scientific system of peer-reviewed papers followed by replication. Important results are always replicated by other people. That's how science determines what is right. And I feel strongly that in the one debate I did do, I thought it was terrible and was a waste of my time. And I said,
hey, see that? That's why he don't want to debate, because he did terrible.
I would never do that again. But policy is different. Policies are value judgments. And I think you do have to have public debates about that.
I don't think you can discuss policy before the science debate, because how do you make decisions based upon faulty data? I want to see a debate. We need to make this happen. Somebody get these guys to exchange. I think this guy was on there recently. I think this was before the Mark Andreessen interview I'm going to listen to. But I think this guy came on sometime before Mark Andreessen. So it's a new Joe Rogan episode. You guys go check that out. This guy seems to be full of shit. I'll be honest with you. There's something else I saw in here too that to me was just absolutely terrible. All right, let's go 2 more topics and then we'll go. We're not going to get to everything in the grift bag today. 2 more topics and we're going to go to the phone lines. Steven Jackson thinks he's a new Martin Luther King Jr. Let's go to that tape.
I can't listen to a lot of this new man. This trash. This is the only black-owned professional league. We need to come out and support it. And I've been this guy since year one. He'll tell you. I just want to see him win. There's no reason for the NBA not to support this league. It's all the ex-NBA players. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I'm the face of the biggest civil rights movement ever with the George Floyd. I'm an NBA champion. Played in the NBA. The NBA didn't reach out to me for the Black Lives Matter, the movement for social justice or for equality. But you have a player that's the face of the movement. Why you not reaching out? So they don't move. They don't move how we supposed to move. They move how they want to move. I can't.
Oh, wow. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so he claims to be one of the most prominent faces, behind the George Floyd situation, et cetera, and he's wondering why the NBA hasn't reached out to him, because the NBA don't give a damn. The NBA was virtue signaling when they put that Black Lives Matter logo on the NBA court, as Uncle Hotep ranted about. It was just a gesture. They didn't really want to do anything real. They didn't want to do any real work. My brain thought about 2 things at the same time there. I'm not going to go to the other point. I'll stay here. But it was all virtual signaling. And from the time they put the logo on the court, they didn't need to reach out to you. They already had the optics that they needed. They don't really, the left doesn't really want to put in any real work. They just want people to believe that they are on their side. And that's good enough. As long as the people believe you're on their side, that's good enough. You don't actually have to be on their side. Because if you actually, again, Sonny Johnson always says this, how can a Democrats be the party of the poor if there is no poor? So they need you poor, they need you begging, they need you struggling in order to exploit your problems for their own benefit. So I can totally see what Stephen Jackson is saying there. All right, let's go to this. It seems to be some libertarian drama going on here. Libertarian's been messy for the past few weeks. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. I like the libertarians, you know. I like the Mises Caucus. If I were to join a political party, it'd probably be through the Mises Caucus. And it looks like Maj Toure is under attack here. And we're going to go into the Twitter Spaces and play some of the audio here just to verify what some of this stuff says here. It says, anyone on the fence whether Maj Toure is a libertarian or an aggressive thug should listen to a few portions of this space. Oh my God, they called him a thug? Isn't that like a dog whistle for the N-word? Isn't that what people say? Thug is a dog whistle for the N-word? Wow. All right, let's continue. At 2:48:48, Maj says, I seen you, bro. I will F you up. This is how people get unalived. Wow. He goes on to allege that factual tweets about his behavior like this one have violated the non-aggression principle. At 3:31:10, Maj says, we say we're about this non-aggression principle, and we don't think aggressive tactics might warrant an aggressive tactic in return. I don't agree with that. The people who are being disrespectful to me, I'm going to see you in real life, and I want to be clear about this. I'm going to see you in real life. I'm going to make sure. At which point, other speakers interrupt him and tell Maj to stop being a thug. Note that Maj's allegations that people were talking about his family was also completely false and debunked by Clinton Josie. All of this comes after Maj threatened violence against PorcFest attendees and was required by PorcFest organizers to swear he wouldn't be violent to keep his invitation. The NAP is a founding axiom, I guess that's a non-aggression principle, axiom of libertarianism. When someone tells you multiple times. All right, let's play the recording. Let's see. Let's see if Maj really said what they said and if there's any context. So they said, fast forward to 2:48. 2:48. All right, here we go.
Manhood conversation. You've been rude, vague, then directly disrespectful. I am a man first. You gonna respect me, period. Just like I checked when Sarwark tried to act like after he said what he said to me to the Philadelphia Daily News in the middle of my city council run and then tried to buddy up to me in Orlando, and I told him, walk the fuck away from me. That was me being respectful. Now, this dude talking, Sarwark didn't say, Sarwark didn't call me a bitch. I've yet to call Kaufman a bitch. I've seen you, bro. You don't work out. You're not in shape. I will fuck you up. The reality though is, it needs to be mutual combat if he want to have a conversation with me, or he can just keep doing what he doing over there. It's not impacting what I'm doing. The reality is, all of this tough talk, calling me a soft bitch and all of that, bro, you're not about that action. Stop pretending for these people on Twitter. This is how people get murdered. Like, stop. I respect the non-aggression principle, which he's already violated, but at the same time, everybody else don't. This is how people throw stones and hide their hands. Then when they get the shit smacked out of them, then they want to play victim. That's what Sarwark did. Oh my God, this guy just hit me after he ran into him. I don't respect it. He doesn't have to respect me. He can continue doing what he's doing. And just like they have the ability to express themselves and all of that, in a year or two, when we look at outreach and numbers for the libertarian movement in states and nationally, just like we had this conversation earlier, starting this with David, I am a fan of the numbers. I have an agenda. And now my emotions are involved in the agenda. I want to win and crush everybody that opposed me, period. So how I will crush goofballs like that, or people that do goofball things like that, I will just go, we're going to get urban America on board with this liberty thing.
All right. So first of all, the tweet makes this seem a lot worse than how Maj is expressing himself. The tweet makes it seem like Maj is out here, on a rampage. And it definitely doesn't sound like what's happening. Let's go to the next timestamp. Maybe we hear something different. But so far, I don't hear this, what they call it, aggressive thug talk. I'm not seeing that. This Maj sounds very calm and in control. All right, so let's go to the next timestamp here, and then we'll open up phone lines. You want to get on the phone lines, 202-596-5631, 202-596-5631. Text that number with Hotep in your name, and you'll get in line.
And about your children, talking about, you know, these things. And we've seen this before. We've seen this in the liberty movement. There were vile leftists that went over and started to attack Joshua's children and his family. You know, and we say we're about this non-aggression principle, you know, and we don't think that those are aggressive tactics. And we don't think that those aggressive tactics might warrant a aggressive tactic in return. And I don't agree with that. And I think that I've done a good job of, even in being passionate and having a conversation, you know, I've said that some people make goofy moves and tactics that I disagree with while saying they can do those things. But there's been more of the type of representation that I was speaking about, this vague, fake in-between thing. And so I don't really have much more to say than the people that are being disrespectful to me, that have identified themselves. I'm going to see you in real life. I want you to be clear about this. I'm going to see you in real life. I'm going to be in your town. I'm going to make sure.
Can you please stop with that? Please stop with that crap. Please stop with that. This is not the conversation that we have in these spaces.
I'm speaking to one person, correct? I'm speaking to one person. I'm speaking to you, Joe.
Yes. Can I talk? I had stepped out to tuck my daughter in and came back. I didn't hear anybody say anything about your children. Was I out of the room for that? Did that happen?
No, he made that up completely.
So what I'm saying to you is that the rude disrespect stuff, like, we have to be kind. We don't have to, but it will be better for people especially when you meet them in real life, to just be kind to people, man. Your actions and the things that you say.
Quit threatening people in this space. Quit threatening people in this space. You're threatening people in this space, and I don't appreciate it. And I'm a Marine. You're not going to catch me outside. Quit threatening people in this space.
Or threatening anybody. If whoever it is, I don't even know what bum this is that's cutting me off, but nonetheless, what I'm saying is, your actions have consequences, man. We got to think about outside of just these emotional Twitter spaces and Twitter arguments. That is not going to promote the movement further. It's not. Regardless, you can come in and you can make vague insinuations and be rude and try to rabble rouse. I'm just saying, behind the safety of these spaces is one thing, and what happens in real, not me. Like, this is actually that back and forth, I forget the brother's name that said the rural urban divide. That's actually what you're feeding in.
All right. Let me give my thoughts on this situation. So I've watched this account, New Hampshire Libertarian Party account, for some time now. And what's the right word to use here? It was a divisive and what's the term I want to use for, like, it's not trolling, because they weren't trolling, but they were like trying to trigger people. But you know, sometimes trolling, like, it's not Alex Stein triggering, right? It's more like it's divisive. It's anyway. Let me say what I want to say. So what I saw this account doing was participate. Remember, like a month ago, everybody was posting videos about black kids beating up white kids in school, and then they started bringing up all types of old videos that were like 10 years old, 8 years old, 5 years old, and just bringing them up like it was all happening, you know, in real time. That account participated in it, if I do recall correctly. And yeah, it could be condescending. Instigating, yeah, it could be instigating. Yeah, that could also work. Definitely instigating. But yeah, And the reason why I paused is because I didn't want to say racist, because again, that term is just overused. But it seemed like a lot of their rhetoric came off like Vivek, where it's like, oh, let's talk about all these different black issues. And I'm like, y'all sound like, far right wingers, when really you guys are supposed to be extreme center and supposed to have the most common sense at anybody. So that's why I say, when you're dealing with the Libertarian Party, holla at the Mises Caucus, Dave Smith and those guys. I think that's your best bet getting onboarded there. I don't suggest going directly through the Libertarian Party. It seems like there's still a lot of cleaning out of the old guard that has to happen. So that's that. Now, as far as Maj's rhetoric here, I mean, if you call somebody a bitch on the internet and they pull up on you in real life, you kind of got to deal with those consequences. I'm not saying that I condone violence or people should be violent, but if you call somebody a bitch on the internet, let's say it's you, right? And you call somebody's wife a bitch on the internet, and you guys happen to be at the same event, and her husband pulls up on you, you should probably be ready to scrap. You disrespecting people. And I don't know if that goes into the non-aggression principle, because I'm not familiar with the non-aggression principle in libertarianism. But to me, it's just common decency. And it comes down to the fact that people need to talk to each other online how they would in person. Because I doubt you would call somebody like Maj or anybody else a bitch to their face. You got to be really like pissed off or really angry dude or really just disrespectful, and not even, it's like not even disrespectful to the other party, but it's disrespectful to yourself. You have to have some decorum about yourself. So the fact that this is what they were doing is kind of bitch. It's kind of bitch, if it did in fact happen. And I don't know if they said anything about his kids, but if you talk shit to somebody on the internet and they pull up on you, then I'm not exactly opposed to that, because who was it came on my channel and said, yo, like the difference between then and now is back in the day when you said something, you had to deal with those. I think it was Rudy. He said back in those days, there was no internet to hide behind. There was no anonymous account. You said it to somebody's face. Y'all fought right then and there, and that was the end of it. Nowadays, it's like you get to talk shit about people and then hide your hand and don't expect any, consequences or repercussions. But if you'd have did that to Andrew Jackson, if you'd have told Andrew Jackson he was a bitch, he'd have called you out and said, yo, 10 paces and turn and shoot. I'm going to bust your ass. If we look at any time period, let's start at the 50s. Let's start the 50s and backward. You couldn't call nobody a bitch and not be ready to throw hands. You serious? You would get shot for stuff like that back in the day. So I gotta go with, I gotta say, we only listen a few minutes here, but I gotta go with Maj. He didn't sound angry on the phone line. He's just saying if you talk shit, you better be able to back it up. That's what it sounds like to me. And I can't say I disagree. I thought I would. I thought I was going to hear Maj going off and being violent, but I'm like, I don't hear that at all. And if somebody would like to dispute that, the phone lines are open. 202-596-5631, 202-596-5631, and we'll take calls right after this commercial break.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How I'm supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there, you understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
Goldstein on the check-in. What up, Goldstein?
What up? What up?
What's good with you, man?
Man, I'm gonna get to Maj right now. Give me a minute. But
Okay.
I want to start with LeBron James, bro.
Okay.
I know that's not his school, but he out of pocket, and that is his responsibility that them kids is failing, and I'm gonna tell you why. That's a public goddamn school, and you're a celebrity. The only reason that I see a celebrity should have his name attached to a public school, a school ran by the state, is you are supposed to be there in a capacity to be able to apply pressure when that shit folds, because everything from the state eventually folds. You're supposed to be the motherfucker who could bring attention to that. From year one, you should have been like, yo, what is y'all doing? Publicly, because that's your profile, that's your responsibility. And it's your profile and it's your motherfucking platform that's going to be able to apply the pressure necessary for them to get right. That's why it's his responsibility. That's why he's the reason why that shit is happening. Man, that's my take on him.
Okay, let's argue then.
All right.
It's fairly new that he's been involved.
Yes.
You do need to see the poor results before you step in. So maybe LeBron needs more time. And this is a public school, so you don't have that much control over the curriculum.
Right. But he don't need it, is what I'm saying. It's like, okay, year one, you could be like, get your shit together. Year two, that's when you take to the motherfucking media and be like, yo, this school that I fucking put on right here, this school that I'm involved with, they ain't passing math students publicly. And now guess what has to happen?
The responsibility.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what you're there for. You there to apply the pressure. I know you don't got nothing to do with the curriculum, and I know you ain't got nothing to do with a lot of the intricacies of how that bitch is ran. Yeah. But what you do have is the public profile large enough to apply the pressure needed to get shit right. So that way by year three, shit gets right. And that's if you slow about it. He should have been on that shit year one if he really gave a fuck. But he don't. What he gave a fuck about was, this is going to look good on my resume, right? This is going to make me look great. And then I could just move on with this shit attached to my name, not really have to micromanage it or do anything like that as far as, are they doing the right things by these kids? I don't have to really do any of that. Because that's what he didn't give a fuck about, none of that. Because I know me, if I'm LeBron James with the platform he has, yo, I get them reports. I want the reports first and foremost. How are my kids doing, right? And if I see that year one, there ain't gonna be no.
Yeah.
Not have anything to do with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I agree with that. Yeah, if I open up a school, like, nigga, I want to know first semester what the grades look like.
Yeah.
What the proficiency look like. Especially if my name's attached to it. Like, this is the Hotep Jesus school. Like, nah, like, these kids got to be, you know what I mean? They got to be up there with the high IQ kids. You fucking around, put my name on the building. So I get that. I just didn't have much hope for LeBron because I never seen him get off page 1 of a book.
Exactly. That nigga don't give a fuck about people. He gives a fuck about him, his brand, and what he can do for his brand and his team. That's all he gives a fuck about. You know what I mean? And the fact of the matter is, like I tweeted earlier, the only reason this shit is surfacing is because this is the way of them saying, keep your motherfucking mouth shut, nigga. And you know why. Because I'm fairly certain they got more dirt on that nigga than just that. You know what I mean? But this was a very small shot across the bow, something that he could definitely survive, because there's going to be a lot of LeBron apologists out there saying this, that, and the third, right? But it's still something that he's going to take notice of and be like, yeah, let me go ahead and stay quiet then, if he values his position.
Yeah.
That's all They usually don't kick dirt on their idols when they're down like this.
Yeah.
He's down now. They usually ain't gonna kick dirt on a motherfucker when they're in this position. They'll wait till there's some distance between him and his tragedy, you know, the shit that's going on, and then maybe do it. But the fact they doing it in the midst of this, nah, that's a warning shot.
It's a warning shot.
Yeah.
It's hard out here for a player.
Then, man, let me see. Lizzo, bro. Lizzo. You remember that scene from The Matrix where Agent Smith was telling Morpheus why he didn't like The Matrix?
Yeah.
Remember that scene where he was like, it's the smell?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine working for Lizzo would be like. All that whole team, the dancers, her, all that weird shit with banana, it's the smell. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. You know that it's funky and a motherfucker. They up in there doing all kinds of loose ass shit, ain't doing the right thing by their body physically, so you know they ain't washing up right. They're just lazy, no good nicks. And I couldn't stick around, bro. That shit probably smelled like old ramen. Old dumb.
Oh shit! It's the smell. It's the stench. I concur, sir. I concur. That's exactly what I would expect them to act like.
Man. And then Maj.
Mm-hmm.
Maj Tory.
Mm-hmm.
Listen. This is why I don't fuck with Maj, bro.
Really?
This exact reason is because I used to, but then I started seeing some shit in dudes that I was like, I can't really rock with this. And part of what I saw, what really just was like, all right, I'm done fucking with this nigga, was when he was in that forum, and he got himself arrested because, you know, you want to say I keep the gun and I take the gun out here and I do this and okay, fantastic. But one thing I've learned, right, when he was in the other forum where he pulled up on the dude, he was wearing the Timbs and he was talking about I'll smack your ass or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Jeff Charles was there. Remember that one?
I remember that was the one with the trans person, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was the trans one.
Yeah.
This is what I know, man. I get it, Maj. You from the street. You from Philly. You from the street. I could see that in you. So I'm not denying that that's in you, right? I could see that, right? But one thing you should know, if you really, really out there in the streets like that, one thing you learn early, you don't ever talk about what you finna do. You just do. Because talking about what you finna do is finna get you fucked up in the game and everybody you fuck with fucked up in the game, right? So then you got to either think this nigga's a dummy who just didn't get that lesson early, or he gets it and he uses it to his goddamn advantage because he's running around in those particular circles where ain't none of those people is about that life. None of those motherfuckers even want to come close to that life. Now you just in there pushing your weight around because you can, because you sound the part, you look the part, you have the resume, and that, in my book, makes you a fucking bully. Now, having said that, the New Hampshire Libertarian Party, or whatever the fuck they are,
yeah,
they probably deserve to get their ass whooped on numerous occasions. Because if I'm not mistaken, look, if I'm not mistaken, just a few tweets back, maybe a couple days ago, these niggas used the 14 words that Aryans use, but they just substituted the word white for libertarian. You can go back and check the tweets. It's right there, but it's the same exact 14 words. They just substitute white for libertarian. So they on some other shit, right? Whether they're trolling or not, who gives a fuck? They probably do deserve to get their ass whooped.
When did they tweet that? Today or the other day?
No, couple days ago. It was a couple days ago.
14 words?
Yeah, they said it out. They said it out. I will observe the whatever. I don't know how that shit goes exactly, but it's instead of the libertarian children, it's supposed to be white children. But every other word is the exact same in the tweet.
It starts over with I will?
Yeah, I think so. Or whoever in the chat, if you know the 14 words, go ahead and put it in there and whatever. Ain't nobody judging you because I got a lot of homies that fuck with that creed, so it's whatever. But yeah, they probably on some shit. They probably be on some shit. Yeah, they calling motherfuckers bitches. Yeah, they acting an ass. But they doing all that shit over the internet, which means, in essence, that you motherfuckers ain't even real. Like, I don't even know if you exist for sure. So why am I going to act like you do? Why am I going to act like you in my face calling me the bitch? Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go as far. Now, I might talk shit back, but I'm not going to talk shit in a way where I'm like, I'm going to bust your ass type shit, because that's just stupid. Right? Now you in these spaces scaring the shit out of these folks who ain't even close to being built like that. It paints you in a bad light. It paints whatever you stand for in a bad light. It causes enmity, and it's all shit that doesn't need to happen. Because if you really feel that way, just wait until you see the motherfucker on site and then do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But you ain't got to broadcast that shit to the goddamn nation first. That shit's just dumb. And that's why I quit really fucking with dude, because he just seemed like he in those spaces and bullying because he can. He's the big fish in the small pond. You know what I mean? He know half these motherfuckers, if not more than half, is scared of his ass just on his appearance.
Yeah.
Then when he start talking this way, that's even more motherfuckers that's like, nah, I ain't really trying. Nah, bro, you bullying. You bully, and yeah, maybe they do deserve to be bullied. I don't know. I don't care. But I just don't like bullies. You know what I mean? It's not a good look. It's not a good look.
All right,
if you really
so
feel this way, be about the action.
All right, so I got to give pushback.
All right.
So I got to be honest with you. I don't see Maj as the big fish. I see the Libertarian Party as the big fish, and I don't know if you want to fuck with the white man like that. The white man crazy. All right.
Like,
so
look,
if he want to get violent, he's outnumbered. If he go to, they will stomp him out. So I think I don't think it's wise for Maj to even take it to that level.
That's also another aspect you got to look at. But I'm just talking about on an individual one-on-one level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We talking about New Hampshire.
I mean, individual level, I don't know these individuals on the other side. I don't know who he's talking to. But one of those dudes claimed to be a Marine. What if he one in the Marines that's like a Green Beret or some shit? He choked Maj out. Like, I don't know who the other individual is. I'd have to see him to actually be like, all right, yeah, he's bullying him. Does anybody know who it is in the chat? Maybe the chat can get us.
I heard a broad in there. She was scared. And if these motherfuckers is in there talking about, listen, you can't do that here, that's because they can. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if it's another motherfucker that's about that action, then he's gonna hear Maj. If he really about that action, he gonna hear Maj and be like, oh, this nigga just popping off. Yeah. I already know what time it is with me. He ain't even gonna say nothing.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the niggas who can or think they can or can't, they talk, right? They real good with the tongue because they ain't that great with the hands.
Yeah.
So they got to have something to keep you up off their ass.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why I lose respect for that nigga every time he gets to popping off at the gums like this. It's like, okay, I get it. You might be a little emotional. You might be charged up.
Let's put you in a scenario, right? You on the internet, somebody's talking shit about you, they calling you bitch, all types of shit. And for example, let's say it was the Hotep Nation community. Somebody in the Hotep Nation community was calling you a bitch, which would never happen. And, you know, like, how would you, like, you was coming to Hotep Con, like, and y'all both was going to be there, or an affiliate event. Like, would you confront the individual, or how would that go?
If I know I got action with this nigga, I'm gonna fucking try and pull him to the side where it's just me and him. A, because if it gets live, I don't want no witnesses, right? And B, I have a better chance at talking to this nigga and making him see my point of view on whatever the fuck we was beefing about if he ain't got that crowd putting a battery in his back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if he's sitting there and he feels he has to do some shit, it's going to be in front of the people that's there, like, because he has this image and all. But if I can get you on one of these side rooms somewhere real quick and be like, yo, what's up, man? You know what I mean? I have a better chance at talking it out and coming to terms with you and actually maybe even making you a fucking friend in those conditions. But I'm not no pussy nigga, so I'm going to fucking pull you to the side because I don't give a fuck who you are. You may be that Marine who could choke me out, but we finna see. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I would deal with it. But what I won't do is sit here, threaten you on the internet. Now, I'll call you a bitch on the internet if you call me a bitch on the internet. Then we can just both be some bitches on the internet, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and be like, nigga, I'll fuck you up in public. This is keyboard warrior shit. Just wait till I see. I'm not going to do all that, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to do it in real life, so I damn sure ain't going to do it on the internet.
Yeah. Yo, peep this, right? So,
yeah.
Once upon a time, I always get pulled into some dumb shit on the internet. Rolo had beef with some crew, I think 21 convention or 22 convention, something like that, right? So 22 convention had me on the bill to speak, but it was there because Rolo put me on. He was like, yo, put Hotep on. And then that relationship got spoiled. And because Rolo put me on that bill, I went with Rolo, you know? So
yeah.
One of the people that was talking shit, his name was Bruno or something like that. And years later, I ended up on the same panel with Bruno. But I don't know, is this dude, George Bruno, I think his name is. And he came up to me, he was like, yo, Hotep, yo, I apologize for those things I said, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yo, I don't remember you saying that shit. We went live and everything. He pulled his phone out. He's like, yo, I'm here with Hotep. We pieced it up. It's all good. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, I don't remember this happened, but the whole time I'm like, kind of like looking at him like, why did you bring yourself to act like that on the internet? You know what I'm saying? Like, why did you feel like the need to call me a bitch and shit like that? And, you know, everybody knows I'm not no violent individual, so I'm not about to just pull up on you because you said something on the internet. Nah, I'm a grift off that shit. You know me, I'm a grift god. You know what I mean?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
So, yeah. So, for me, that was like, you know, I don't like that keyboard warrior shit. However, I have pulled up the tweet you talked about. Says, we must secure the existence of our people and a future for libertarian children. Right?
Yes.
And so I Googled it. I just copied and pasted their tweet, and ADL pops up. It says 14 words. 14 words is, hold on. I want to make sure the people can see it. Hold on. All right, here we go. 14 words. Reference to the most popular white supremacist slogan in the world.
Yeah.
We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children.
Yeah.
The slogan was coined by David Lane, a member of the white supremacist terrorist group known as The Order. Lane died in prison in 2007. The term reflects the primary white supremacist worldview in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, that unless immediate action is taken, the white race is doomed to extinction by an alleged rising tide of color purportedly controlled and manipulated by Jews. Because of its widespread popularity, white supremacists reference this slogan constantly in its full form, as well as an abbreviated version such as 14 words. 14 words, or simply the number 14. So remember earlier, That's crazy because earlier I was like, yo, I feel like I seen some shit from this account that was like right-wingish. It felt very right-wingish. And then you just pull that up and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, man, you ever see them fools with the 1488? That's what the 14 means, and the 88 is Hell Hitler. You know what I mean? When they got that 1488. Fucking, they did that. And the only thing they substituted was they took white out and put Libertarian in.
Yeah. Yeah.
On some slick shit. Now, like I said, that could be a troll. That could be them serious. Either way it goes, it's on the internet. Those people are fake until you meet them in real life. They don't exist.
Yeah.
Straight up. Now, maybe their philosophy exists, maybe whatever. But when you're talking about the individual that typed that or the individuals that are responsible for that, they are fake until you meet them in real life. Because they could be one of them trolls that you highlighted. They could be one of them bots from Thailand that you highlighted.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't take it too goddamn seriously. Yeah, you could take the messaging and the philosophy seriously, and you could always stamp that shit out when it rears its head in your world. But as far as them personally and that goddamn site, that goddamn whatever, they don't exist, bro. And you got to treat them like that. Like, you can't just be all emotional and shit. Oh, when I in real life, fuck all that. That's unnecessary shit. You ain't getting nowhere. And like I said, it's a bad look for you.
Yeah.
Not for them, not their opinion, because their opinion of you don't.
I mean, I get it. I get it, you know. But also, like, as far as legal is concerned, it is much, isn't it? Well, I guess it could be premeditated assault, right? If you mention it prior to legally.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was looking at it potentially as being a warning and saying, hey, you know, please, you know, don't invade my space otherwise. But it could also be construed as premeditated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that might not be too good legally either.
Hell no. Look, you fuck around and just punch this nigga and his head hit the ground the wrong way and he died.
Yeah.
And it's in a place like New Hampshire, you don't think they finna run your black ass into that motherfucking court on premeditated murder?
Yeah.
And now you doing all day for nothing because you wanted to be tough for some pussy. Right? It don't make no sense. Right? But trust me, and I'm speaking from experience, bro. I'm not just saying this into a vacuum. This is why I ended up doing a lot of the time that I did, because I wanted to be that tough nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not worth it, bro. You out here, he's been on that side of the dividing line from criminal and civilian. He's been on that side of the fence his whole goddamn career out here, and he needs to remain over there, not just physically, but mentally too.
Well,
you ain't in the streets of Philly when you dealing with these motherfuckers, so act accordingly.
Well, some people might rebuttal and say, Goldstein, you just showed us these is white supremacists. So, you know, some people might look at Maz like a hero that he doing all of this.
Those are the same people that'll find themselves in a world of hurt too, because they ain't white supremacists until they trying to be supreme over you or over your loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they're just supremacists on paper, and it don't matter there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you come in my circle with that shit, and you over here trying to enforce whatever the fuck it is on me and my family, we got to have a different conversation at that point. But if you just trying to enforce some shit on Twitter, then get the fuck on. You can have Twitter. I don't care. You know what I mean? You shouldn't care to that degree. That's just how it is. That's how I see it anyway. I could be dead motherfucking wrong, right? I could be dead wrong, and Mars could be the fucking hero and all that good shit. But that's just how I see it. You ain't asking for nothing but trouble, man. You ain't asking for nothing but trouble. And like I said, it don't matter what those people think about you. It matters what that young nigga who's looking up to you thinks about you. Is your actions gonna fuck him in the game? Is he gonna come up emulating you, thinking this is the way, and then fuck around and end up in prison or some dumb shit? That's what you got to be considerate of when you that goddamn high profile as a Maj Toure. When you just a Hotep Goldstein, I suppose you could fucking wild the fuck out. You know what I mean? Because it really don't matter at the end of the day. But when you're a Maj Tourway, nah. You got responsibilities, man. And one of those
That's good criticism. That's good criticism. That's good criticism. I could accept that.
Hopefully the nigga can come around. Because like I said, I don't hate that nigga or nothing like that. I don't hate him.
Right.
I just don't. Because of that. Because of that characteristic that he displays publicly. It's like, nah, bro. Nah. Can't do it.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Let me get Rudy in them in here, bro.
All right, bro.
Hotep and Bill.
Yes.
Goldstein on the check-in. Yeah, we gonna go Rudy. That's nah. Jonah. And then Hotep Sharp. That's how we gonna do it. I like Goldstein's feedback. It's nothing wrong with his feedback. But that tweet made Maj much more aggressive than what I heard in that Twitter space. It didn't translate over. Although it was written verbatim. That's again, like, you know, so much is lost without tone. Like, how do you add tone to text? The only way you can add tone to text is like with a GIF, you know, a meme. It's the only way to add tone to text, and a lot of times that's why people use it.
Call from
Rudy. What's up, bro?
What's up, HJ?
What up, man?
Hey, man. Same shit, new day, brother. What's going on, man?
Life is good, you know, just trying to stay hustling.
I mean, I respect the hustle, man.
Thank you.
I respect the hustle. Hey, but look, man, I'm with Goldstein, man. I told you a long time ago, man, I had an Instagram account, man. And I had deleted it because, you know, there was a point, you know, I get so frustrated, I'd shoot my real address and try to get fuckers to come fight me, man.
Oh, Lord.
You
Come
know,
on, Rudy.
I told you that, man. I told you that, man. I was fresh home. I still had that prison mentality. I got on this new thing called social media. I'm like, oh, shit. And then motherfuckers would smack off at the mouth at me. I'd be like, yo, here's my address, motherfucker. Norfolk, Virginia. Come get some. You know what I'm saying? So I deleted it. You know? I deleted Instagram because I was getting lack of real life engagement, man. You can't punch the motherfucker in the face talking all that shit to you, dude.
Yeah.
It drives me up the fucking wall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't, you know, I just got on Twitter a few years ago. I don't do any. I never had a Facebook. I never had, you know, I don't have Instagram. Man, fuck that social media, man. These people ain't real, man. It ain't real, dude. It ain't fucking real, man. It ain't real. Maj, you know, he's from the streets, man. So what are you fucking doing, dude? What are you fucking flag John with some fucking faceless fucker on the internet, man? For what?
Well, I
what
think
does that do,
I think
man?
you know those people though.
I mean, I fought with Maj, man. I think he's all right, man. I fought with the Libertarians too, man. But I mean, I don't, you know, I think it's all fucking stupid to tell you the honest to God truth, man.
Right.
But if I could, you know, if I could have, when I first came home and I could have, I would have fought everybody on fucking Instagram that I could have fought, dude. Anybody that was running their fucking mouth, I would have fought, dude. And I'm not a violent dude either, but some of the shit, man, these people come out of their mouth sideways, man. You know, and then I had to elevate myself to be like, man, I'm never going to get any of these people getting me all out of my square behind a stupid-ass fucking cell phone. I was like, man, fuck this app, fuck this shit. It don't do nothing but make me mad, and I'll never be able to punch anybody in the face who talks sideways to me. So I got off the shit, never looked back, bro. Never looked back, man. And the same thing on Twitter, man. I pipe off, man. I might say some slick shit every now and then, make a few comments, man. But I ain't. People respond. I never respond back, man. There's no fucking point in getting into a fucking tough guy war on the fucking internet,
Hoteps
man.
don't argue on Twitter.
I don't either. Yeah, I mean,
we'll argue on. I mean, you a Hotep. I'm just telling you, you a Hotep. So Hoteps, we don't argue on social media. That's not something we do.
Nah, what's the fucking point in it, man? You can't.
You gotta collect data. That's what I used to do. I used to trigger these accounts and then collect data.
Yeah, I just I fuck with the people I follow. When I do get on, if I like something you threw up there, I'll give you my thumbs up and to support the people that I fuck with. But man, otherwise, man, I'm not arguing with those stupid motherfuckers on the internet, man.
Right.
And that's your channel helped me calm down a lot on a lot of other shit, man. Like even the other day with the Lila Hart video, dude, if you would have took phone calls that day, you'd have got Rudy coming in way too hot, man. You'd have been like, yo, calm down, bro. Because that's how mad I get sometimes at some of the dumb shit I see in this world, man. But
yeah.
On the other shit, though, man. On the other shit.
Okay.
Just like I respect Strong Dad for his thoughts on wanting it, stay with a black woman, wanting his daughter to date black men. You gotta, just because white folks say the same shit, don't mean they're white supremacists, man. You know what I'm saying? They're saying the same shit. You gotta respect all of it. Just because they want to. It's that's a slippery slope, man. It's a slippery slope. Like I'm talking to my niece yesterday. She hits me with homophobic, and I almost lost my fucking mind. I'm like, that's a fucking made up word. It means absolutely nothing. Just because you don't agree with the lifestyle. But yeah, she said something like that, and I was like, why? Because I don't agree with the lifestyle. And she was like, yeah. I was like, do I treat a gay person like shit? And she's like, no. I was like, don't you know we know gay people together, right? And she's like, yeah. I was like, do I disrespect them? She's like, no. I said, if I see a gay person in the store, do I say something to them? She's like, no. And I was like, so what makes me homophobic? Because I don't agree with their lifestyle? I was like, that fucking word was just made up. That anybody who disagrees with that lifestyle, they're just trying to shut them down from having any thoughts on that lifestyle. Just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean I'm going to treat people like shit.
Right.
And it's the same way with so maybe them libertarians, maybe they are on some, we got to keep, maybe as long as you don't treat black folks like shit, then what's the fucking problem? The same way Strong Dad, I respect the hell out of his gang. He's like, I wanted my daughter to date black, I mean, if that's how he feels, you got to respect it. As long as he don't walk around talking about kill Whitey, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. People got to start respecting the opinions of other people, as long as it don't, as long as it's not some fucking nasty ass shit,
Yep. Yeah.
But I mean, me personally, I don't give a fuck, man. I don't. It all. I told you a long time. It's all pink, and I like to slide in it. It's all pink, and I like to slide in it. So me personally, I don't care, but I respect that Strong Dad's like, hey man, I'm not fucking with no white girl. What am I supposed to say? You're racist?
Yeah.
You're racist, you black supremacist? Why? That's his preference.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As long as he doesn't walk up to me talking about fuck you, cracker, I hate you, I don't care. I mean, Strong Dad's a good dude.
I'm telling you right
in
now,
the same way,
man, you got to look up those stories of Indian women when they be dating outside they race, they the black guy. They be like, my dad disowned me.
I mean, they do. I mean, listen, man. The funniest shit out there is that they claim America is the only country on the planet with these problems. You know what I'm saying? There's not race. Chinese people. There's the what's the Guangdong, the Fandong. They kill other Chinese fucking people because they're not the Wu Chi or some shit like that, man.
That's true.
America's the only place that the only country where you go to China, you don't see white folks, black folks, fucking Indians. You see Chinese fucking people. You go to Japan, you see Japanese people. You go to India, you see Indian people. You don't see. So, and we're the least racist fucking country on the fucking planet, man. But you know that, man. I know that. There's a racist people in here, yeah. And I'm not cool with the fucking white dude who's like, man, fuck blacks and all that. I can't stand that motherfucker just like I can't stand the black dude who's like, fuck whites. You know what I'm saying? But the black guy like Strong Dad who's like, yo, man, I just believe in dating in my race. That I have no you gotta respect it. You gotta respect it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta respect it, man. I just, it is what it is, man.
Nah, I appreciate that.
But,
appreciate that, man.
I mean, yeah, but I'm with Goldstein. I mean, Goldstein, that's a sharp ass dude, man. That's a sharp ass dude, man. I respect his hustle and he's gangster 100%. But the thing is, if I was in the situation with him, and you got calling me a bitch on the internet, but some of the shit that was said and some of the things that popped off to me on the internet, like, you just call me, you're a bitch, and leave it at that. I'm not, but sometimes, man, there'd be to the point, man, where if I ever saw you in real life, man, we'd have to go, man. And like I said, I'm not a killer, man, but I mean, we'd have to throw hands, win, lose, walk away, man. You talked about that earlier. Sometimes you just got to fight, man. Sometimes you just got to fight. But if I was Maj, I wouldn't, like Goldstein said, I wouldn't be Brent. If I was in Maj's shoes right now, and I know that at some point in the future, I'm going to see these Libertarian of New Hampshire. I'm not talking shit on the internet. I'm just going to walk up and rock off on one of them, man. It is what it fucking is, man. The talking on the internet. He's smarter than you see. That's a smart dude. I've been following him for years, man. I don't understand why he's getting into these petty ass fucking arguments with these fucking cornballs on the internet, man.
Maybe we got to get on. Maybe we got to get him on the show and find out what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, he's sharp, man. I've seen plenty of interviews. He's sharp. He's too smart for that shit, man. What is he doing, dude? Those things absolutely right. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
If you're that mad where you feel like you want to punch a motherfucker in the face, and you're gonna see him one day, like you said on the thing, then just walk up and punch him in the fucking face, man. You know what I'm saying? And none of that, hey, what's up now? I mean, Goldstein's a better man than me to try to pull a dude to the side, because if you got me to the point where I'm ready to punch you in the face, I'm just walking up and punching you in the fucking face, man. We're going to get it on. But, I mean, that's just me, man.
I just texted Maj, so we'll see what happens. We'll get to
the bottom of it. Tell him, man, don't let them little fucking trolls up there in the mountains in New Hampshire piss him off, man.
Yeah,
he's more important to the fucking.
Chat, y'all want me to get Maj on the Grift Report? Maybe we need to bring Maj on the Grift Report.
Get him on, and you need to get Royce White, bro.
Okay.
You need to get Royce White, man. That dude.
Hold on. Royce White.
I'm telling you, Royce, man, you're down with Whitlock. Call Whitlock. Be like, yo, I need to talk. I need my audience wants to hear Royce, man. I'm telling you, that dude is vicious, man. Royce, and the thing about it is, not only does he call out the left for all their horse shit, but he calls out the fucking right, the 501c3. That's why if you ever heard me say the 501c3 Christian conservative,
yeah, that's
a phrase I picked up from him, because he lets them have it, dude. He lets them have it, man.
All right, we're gonna check him out.
And especially ask him about when he led a Black Lives Matter protest, right? In Minneapolis. You know where he held his at?
What?
You know, the Federal Reserve, dude. The Federal Reserve of Minneapolis.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta listen. You gotta get Royce on, man. I think the audience needs to hear what that dude's got to say, man.
All right, we're gonna work on it. We're gonna work on it.
But I love you, brother, Hotep and Bill, man. Everybody in the chat, I got a day off. I'm out here weed eating the lawn and fucking around in my garden, man. Fresh tomatoes and peppers for anybody who comes to Carolina, man.
Nice, man. Good shit,
right,
bro.
And then I got some other, I'm going to take care of you soon again, brother.
I appreciate you, bro.
All right, I love you, man. Hotep and Bill, y'all. I'm out. Man.
Hotep and Bill. Motherfucking Rudy on the check-in. Go ahead, Noah. I mean Noah. Wow, Jonah. Call Jonah. All these biblical names, man. Yo, that libertarian tweet was wild. That was wild. Yo, cause I knew the account was funny. I was like, yo, is this a right-wing account? Say right-wingers up there in New Hampshire? And then Goldstein showed me this. I'm like, yo, did they even explain it? Here in Georgia, we want to secure the existence of all people, including children, with a future of freedom that allows people to choose. You do your thing for you. We'll keep fighting for freedom for all.
Call from
Jonah, what up, yo?
Nada.
What up, man?
Come on, you didn't look in the chat? I had the 14 words up there for you right away.
You what?
I had those 14 words up there for you right away.
Did you?
Yeah, I know that shit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You used to be part of that crew, right?
Yeah, I used to have into that shit.
Aren't you like a former Nazi or something like that?
I'd say more of the racist, well, not Nazi, but hey, whatever. More of a nihilist that was just sort of wanting to piss off the world.
Okay, I love it. Continue. Go ahead.
No, I got to disagree with you on the saying that the libertarians are center, because they're actually the true far right.
The libertarians are the true far right.
Yes,
we got a lot of takes going on here today.
What is the actual measurement? The right is individualism, and the left is collectivism. Now, the collectivists, the communists, all lie to us and say that the nationalism is the other side, which it's not, because they're still collectivists, so they would still be the left. So National Socialist is communist.
Yes.
So again, the libertarian, because they want individualism, they would be the far right on a true scale.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Now, if we're going with Libertarian Party New Hampshire, they actually, when the Mises Caucus ended up getting voted in, they ended up, whoever was there ended up stealing all the keys and everything. So there's a whole thing about it. But you can go back there's a whole thing. So when they got voted in, but
wait, what? Or whatever. Who stole what?
The Mises Caucus got voted in up there.
Yeah, in New Hampshire.
The old people who were running it or whatever, they ended up stealing all the keys and all the passwords.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was the whole thing. That was like 2 years ago for the 21-22 runoffs or whatever, primaries. Next, let's go ahead and okay. First off, when we talk about global warming, like I said on my Twitter and my Instagram, we've seen how reliable the modeling is. So if you still believe in trust the experts, you deserve to participate in a Dr. Fauci experiment.
We would be allowed to participate in this experiment.
No. You should be participating in a Dr. Fauci experiment.
Why?
If they believe in trust the science.
Who should be in the experiment?
Anyone who believes to trust the science. Anyone who believes that the climate change is a settled fact or consensus. So they should. There is no consensus.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of went right over. But last, with this Neil deGrasse Tyson. And, I know there's a fantastic video out there where someone brings up the whole Matrix and the Shannon code and everything. But I just hope that this guy lives long enough that the CMB is actually proven. And then it's a fact that we are on a geocentric system and not a heliocentric, and it's a Jesuit lie. And I hope someone gets his face on video when it's actually published. So the CMB is actually a cosmic microwave background. What it is it's a radiation that runs through the entire universe, or all known systems. And it actually runs straight through our planet, at least from all the signs so far. It's like the tree of life. It's the spine, tree of life is on person. You have it on the whatever. It's every level like this. So there's a tree of life for the universe. There's a tree of life for the galaxy, etc.
Well, the magnetic poles travel through the middle of the Earth.
So yeah, man, and guess what longitude it runs through?
What?
12 east. So if it's 12 east, do you have any guesses on which evil organization might have their city on that one?
London?
Rome. Vatican.
What's London at?
That's a 0, I think. It started in Greenwich, or Greenwich.
Oh, you're saying based upon that. I thought you were saying longitude. I'm sorry, latitude.
Yeah, longitude.
Oh, they're the Vatican's the 14th longitude?
12.
Is it 12 longitude?
And then
Is it? Okay.
1, 2. And then if you actually look at it, the crust of the Earth actually divides. One's crystalline, one's granite or rock out that longitude as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Anyways, Hotep and build.
Hotep and build.
It was not even alright. It wasn't not even alright.
Yeah, longitude of 12, Rome. Jonah know his shit. Jonah know his shit. Jay Potline know his shit. Yo, Tari, get ahead, yo. I'm gonna get the last caller in here. The Vatican is a straight up portal. Tanai, what Tanai said? Has anyone ever been? Nah, never been. Tanai said, dog, the Vatican is weird. Tanai said he been there. I ain't never been to the Vatican. I heard it's one of the most secure places on the planet. Ohio Teps, what up?
What up? What up? What up?
What up? What up? What's
Yo. I saw that Neil deGrasse Tyson video.
Uh-huh.
Shit. That shit pissed me off. Somebody's so goddamn smart.
Yeah.
I mean, this motherfucker's a what, astrophysicist?
Apparently.
Like, you know all the makeup of them stars, and you know enough to know the gametes and the chromosomes and how they work. And you still out here spouting this bullshit? Like, what's going on? This is why I don't know what bro's name is. You were talking to earlier. What was his name? I didn't catch his name.
Which one?
The guy you had on the show. I didn't catch his name.
Oh, King Randall.
King Randall. Oh yeah. So and when he was saying that ain't nobody out there arguing about that training shit. I'm like, look, it might not be happening everywhere, man, but it's happening. Like, people are, it's not just on social media. That's usually why it ends up on social media. You feel me? Like, people get upset about the shit they see in their day-to-day life, and even though they might not argue about it with somebody, like Rudy was saying, like, you're not gonna go out there and just disrespect nobody. But a lot of the time they do it to you. Like, you see them videos and them getting mad at the store owner and shit. Like, oh, it's ma'am, and his buff ass nigga with fucking beard and fucking shit hanging out his pants and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's just limited to online. I think the reason it spills online is because you got this stuff happening in real life. Somebody took a video of it, because not everybody knows the camera's rolling all the time.
Yeah.
And, everybody will pull out their phone when something happening nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And, they say the squeaky wheel gets the grease. But, there are those of them that just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them that be out here starting shit. Their activists are really the most, like the most aggressive ones we have out there. Like, I was watching this little video earlier. I saw this little video with Abba and Preach. They was watching some Jubilee video where it was a bunch of feminists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt bad for it was like basically the one regular girl there that was a feminist basically got boxed out and gaslighted. And like the whole thing was that they were picking who the mole was, who wasn't a feminist. How they put somebody in there that's not one, and then they got to make it seem like they are one, and they see how they eat each other. This was like a perfect experiment, bro. And they kicked out like the actual like girl for it. Like, it was like a gay dude there and everything. It was a dude there. Like, it wasn't just like all women, right? It was like a woman, a gay dude, a tranny, another woman. Yeah. And then the white dude, right? White dude was the first dude off, right? Especially if you're looking at the intersectionality, that's like the easy guess, right? Right there, white cishet male, right? All that shit.
Yeah.
They got him out of there quick. And then the other person that got out of there was the white woman. And then at the end, it was like there wasn't a mole.
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't. They just let them eat each other on screen for you to see. Yeah. And most of it ended up being them attacking the white woman, the actual woman. The realest woman there. She looked the most feminine out of all of them. Like the other one was butch. She was wearing a skirt, pink, and white. I think pink and white and shit. Girly, feminine. The actual woman, being an actual woman, was the first one they kicked off. So feminists, these modern day feminists don't even value feminism, or they don't even value femininity. Like that's all. Basically, all they value is masculinity. So I think half the reason you see these arguments happening is because it's not even just that. It's all the feminist stuff. Like it's all of it's all wrapped together. So people aren't necessarily arguing about the specific issue itself. It's a lot of stuff that surrounds it, like the sports stuff, people losing trophies, and then you got activists being spawned out of that. The Leah Thomas thing. You got a whole activist that came out of that because she had to deal with that.
But all that's internet
and
stuff.
Then you got. Well, it's not necessarily internet stuff, you see, because that was a college. This was a college too. It became popular on the internet, and she became like an activist trying to push her stuff, and a lot of that is seen on the internet. But that's mostly because that's how we consume media nowadays. I'm talking like.
So King Randall was mentioning
the arguments happening on the internet. I don't think it's true.
So King Randall was saying when you leave your house and you go outside, you don't see this stuff. You're saying it's occurring. We're not denying. We're not denying that it's occurring. Essentially, what we're saying is, if I had to go outside right now, I wouldn't see that. The odds are I wouldn't see that. If you had to bet on if you would see that, maybe if you lived in the Village in New York, your odds would go up. But frankly, we don't. That's not where we live. Or if you lived in San Francisco, the odds of seeing that shit are going to go up dramatically. But to the rest of us,
I don't know, man. You'd be surprised. Like even in Ohio, it's wild because even in the more like secluded places, we had a whole church in one of the most country places over here doing a drag queen
you got
story
the big
hour.
brain.
Oh no, I'm not on the big brain. I'm just saying
You got the big
this
brain.
is the stuff I'm seeing. Like if I walk outside, I do see it, right? And because I was working.
Now you got the big brain.
I'm not trying to debate it for real. What I was trying to say is I think we minimize it when we say people only arguing about this online, because the reality is this is a political issue.
Yeah.
So the real issue is happening on real life. It might not be happening when you walk outside, but you don't walk outside to a courthouse.
Yeah.
Like you don't walk outside to Congress.
Yeah.
But you do walk out into situations where these things are being affected. Like, I don't know if you know, we got a special election coming up here in Ohio.
Yeah.
About all of this shit. Like it's about changes to the Constitution of our state that would allow people to do things for abortion and the kid stuff with the other stuff. That's what people worried about. Yeah. So it's actually like, and I guess it depends on who you talking to too, because I know this is one of the things I love. You probably experienced it before. When you ever been I had this with a couple of my Uber drivers. When you talk to the white person and they don't know where you stand on this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they try to make conversation, a lot of times they might bring up Trump or they might bring up something like political, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of try to gauge where you at. And I love being like the black guy that's like, yeah, no, I'm not really. Like, I get them the response they're not expecting, and then they get comfortable as fuck. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you just see like their shoulders relax, and they're like, yeah. And then they just go into all the shit they want to talk about. Like,
yeah.
They just let it rip. As soon as they know they're comfortable, as soon as you let them know they're comfortable, you're not one of them crazy people.
Yeah.
They let that shit rip.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, some of this shit, like, I might be like, I don't know about all that, but, like, just the fact that they feel that comfortable just after, you know, a couple seconds of interacting with you. Like, it only takes, it's kind of like a, what's they call, litmus test. It only takes like a small litmus test. And then they're like, well, at least, he might not be in full agreement with me, but at least he's not like crazy. At least we got something here. I can like let loose a little bit, talk to somebody, not argue with somebody. So I think the part of the issue is they're actually, some of the arguments that are happening in person are a lot more contentious because you, like, if you at work or something, you could get in trouble. You can lose your job.
I get it. Hey, thank you for the call, bro.
My bad. I'll let you get out of here, bro.
All right, oh, man. My superpower is I'm succinct. That's my superpower. I need y'all to follow suit. Say what you got to say and say it quickly. You know what I'm saying? And take your time thinking about it so you could put it in less words. That's just my suggestion. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting on Maj. Maybe we'll have Maj tomorrow. Check back tomorrow. Hit the subscribe button. Check back tomorrow. Maybe we can get Maj on tomorrow morning and find out what's going on with these libertarians. Are they white supremacists, Nazis, you know, whatever the hell is going on here, hate group. I don't know what the hell is happening. All I know is Mises Caucus is all we got left. I'm about to go tweet that now, actually. So go to my profile and retweet that if you can, because it's looking crazy out here. It's looking absolutely crazy out here. You know, again, for the master focus for your brain boosters, that QR code that you saw on your screen there, 30% off, basically half off when everything's all said and done, will be applied at checkout. You have to go to checkout. Once you go to checkout, you will see all discounts applied. The coupon code is Grift Report. And yeah, so that's the best way to support me. If you guys want to keep up with me behind the scenes, you know, what I'm up to. I got my own private community, so if you ask questions in there, I'm pretty much obligated to respond. So go there. That's my locals. Or if you're on Rumble, just hit the join button. If you're elsewhere, go to hotepjesus.locals.com. And yes, all my BTS, all my clips. You'll have access to all my clips that I post on various networks. And you get first access to them too. So you guys want to follow me over there. That's super dope. So those are ways you can support me. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. for the Grift Report. We're here daily. You know what I'm saying? Hotep and Bill.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.